crap. I am in such a stunned, awe of how pointless and dumb that episode was that I skipped the intro. I'm so, I'm on, a higher level than you. Let me go down.
Yeah, get off that high horse.
That was astoundingly dumb.
Probably one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Welcome back to the watch.
Hey.
Halo episode 4.
It just keeps getting worse. I couldn't believe it. How does it just keep getting worse?
I mean, I thought they couldn't have made a more pointless episode than episode 3. Yeah, they did. Episode 4. Episode 3 of Halo Hate Fic. Okay.
Hate fiction, yeah.
Hate Fic of Pablo. You could call him John. You could call him Pablo. You could call him Master Cheeks because he's not Master Chief at all. All right. Episode 3 was Pablo literally discovers his feelings.
And his child. Oh, that was his feelings. Yeah.
I won't call him the actor name because the actor, honestly, he might be a nice guy. I don't know.
He put a thing out the other day saying, look, guys, we're trying to make a thing,
He did kind of attack the fans, didn't he?
Kind of, yeah, underhanded.
He was like, thank you to all the people loving us, but to all their haters or something like that.
No, he said to all the so-called fans
who chose to hate it before going in or something
before it even came out.
I was like, no, we hate this because it's crap.
Yeah,
we watched it and it's crap. So look, I won't try and just besmirch the actor's name, call him, because I don't know anything about Pablo, but I'll just, all right, so John or Cheeks. I'll call him Cheeks. Yes, Cheeks. Cheeks is an appropriate one. So episode 3, Cheeks literally discovers his feelings. Yep. And episode 4, Cheeks literally discovers his past. This is Halo. He goes to his childhood home. The episode. That's it. I'm not kidding. And the purpose of it was to find the second artifact. And that's the episode. And there is so much dumb in this episode. Astoundingly dumb things. 3 big ones that are just... This episode is built on these main things, and they're astoundingly stupid. Okay? First one is... he has a memory of him and his dad burying something. And so they go to dig it up, right? And it's his childhood drawings.
We need to dispose of the drawings. Bury them, son.
That's the way you would dispose of drawings. There is so much dumb wrapped up in this. Astoundingly stupid. Why would the dad feel so threatened by the drawings that he needs to... Well, then what is his purpose? I'm trying to say destroy them, but he's not destroying it, he's burying them. But if he wanted to destroy them, just burn them, not bury them. But he decides to bury them for what? Posterity? Time capsule? You'll really like... It's so dumb. There's no reason for it at all.
Imagine your dad came up to you.
Yeah, and that is a good approximation of the drawing, Oz.
He's like, son, what the is this? What the is this? Are you drawing Is that what this is?
We don't draw a-holes here.
We don't draw a-holes here. It's like, the kid was 6.
It's just, they're bad drawings from a kid that no parent will look at that and think, my kid's going to turn into a serial killer.
Where's that anime I was telling you to practice?
Why are you drawing a-holes like bungholes here? No rings like this here, son.
My sacred ring is a weapon.
After I ate Mexican food, it is.
Oh, that stench. I've smelled it before. That's a quote from Halo 2.
I can't believe it. And so...
It's just...
And they... It's in this case, right? That it's like some, bad, organic, contaminated sample or something like that, right? And I just... I'm speechless at how stupid this is. And why? Honestly, if you're gonna do something like this that is so dumb, you need to then justify it so it doesn't look dumb. Did the dad... But it's so stupid on so many levels that just the attempt to try and make it more feasible, I feel like I'm insulting my intelligence
I can fix it already.
All right, go.
Okay, what if instead of drawing random shapes that mean nothing. What if instead he's drawing entire pages of like Forerunner script?
Wouldn't that, like, it's a language?
Yeah.
Like then you think your son's going a bit crazy, right? And then the dad, afraid that his son would get kidnapped and taken and experimented on, well, he would have destroyed them. He wouldn't bury them.
Yeah, he'd set them on fire.
But then maybe it's like, what if they mean something? Okay, we might like maybe there's like one thing here that the dad recognized on some ruin on the colony.
And you know what it could have been? It would have been awesome if they showed this. If instead of just drawing a circle, he drew the reclaimer symbol, which looks... You've seen it before. It's in all the Halo games. It's like the literal symbol that means humanity for the Forerunners. It's literally that, right?
Yeah.
If he drew the reclaimer symbol amongst a bunch of things and the dad saw that, like that would have been... Halo fans would be like, oh, it's the reclaimer symbol.
And so maybe then the dad's like, well, all right, maybe we shouldn't destroy these things in case we need them for some type of reference later on, so we'll bury them.
There you go, something like that. But a bunch of drawings of random crap that are literally just squiggly lines, you know?
That, he would have no idea what it is. Has the dad seen the artifacts? No indication of that, so this is just random drawings, and it shouldn't make the dad worry. It's like, if my kid was drawing like that, I was like, that's interesting, Minecraft something, or something like that, And then, no, so worried that he decides to bury it. No justification or reasons given. It's all utterly nonsensical.
I'm just picturing, right?
And the fact that this is supposed to be Master Chief, and it's not. It's Cheeks now.
Master Cheeks. Yeah.
They're making Cheeks this, like, chosen one backstory thing, which is...
Oh, funny backstory. I get it.
There's a lot of backstories in this.
In this episode.
In this episode, there's more backdoors everywhere.
Back to the drawing thing, right? I'm just imagining, right? It's the dad's birthday or like Father's Day, and John runs up to him and gives him a cup that says like painted on in really crappy thing like world's best dad. He's like, I hate it. I'm burying it outside. Disappoint me again. You're getting buried out there too.
Astoundingly done, but this was like a crucial big point of the episode that leads them to find where the artifact is buried. And it's so you could have achieved this at the very beginning of the episode by scanning the planet, but you might be thinking, well, why didn't they just scan it before and find the thing? They have an easy, obvious plot device to justify this. They have an alien artifact, it gives off a certain type of energy that I hadn't seen before, but now that they've detected and scanned the energy, they can scan for it again, and then they get to the planet, we just scan for the same type of energy, oh, there's a tiny little resonance, whatever, this is sci-fi, you can justify this pretty easily, and they go there at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
You could cut all this crap. And they're like, why would you want to cut it? It's such a great, engaging, emotional journey for Cheeks. No, it's not. It's boring as hell.
Yeah.
We don't care. We want to see Master Chief kick butt, but it's all about his feelings and history. And the crucial thing in terms of the story that they're trying to tell about Master Cheeks' discovering of his feelings and emotions is that he starts to have delusions. Like, he starts to literally have hallucinations. Where first, Cortana is making like a rendered, digital recreation of his past. And then he literally starts to see his parents. And they ask her, are you doing this? Like, no. He's seeing this himself. So they literally acknowledge in this episode he is having delusions.
Yeah, fully formed hallucinations.
He is like mentally unstable.
Yeah.
Okay?
Get a gun away from him.
Holy crap! And then in his delusions of the past, he remembers. He has a memory recreated of Halsey being there, and he's like, "What? You were here before my parents were gone? How's that possible? We were supposed to have met." I'm ad-libbing now, but effectively he's saying we were supposed to have met after my parents died. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And from what we gather from this episode, there's a fair amount of evidence to suggest that Halsey might have molested Master Chief.
She was having a conversation with a child in which she literally says, let's keep it our secret.
Yeah.
This is rather in line with the sentiments and mentality of the political spectrum of people that are making this thing.
First she said, can I see you again?
Yeah, they love to have conversations with young children that they don't want mentioned to the parents.
Yeah. Parents weren't there. She said, can I see you again? Let's keep this our little secret.
You know, the like I said, the political leanings of the people that make this show is perfectly in line with what they like to do. They like to have conversation with kids and specifically keep them secret from the parents.
Well,
almost a little bit like grooming, isn't it?
Yeah, or communism, but they're one and the same, really. You know, both mess you up for life.
So he has. That's what they wanted to justify because they're trying to do this developing story of Master Chief questioning his identity and his loyalties and all this crap. And it's so pointless. We don't need it. We don't care, okay? And it's executed horribly because he's literally having delusions and everything and you just think this guy's mentally unstable. And there is no fun action or anything. This is such a boring, melodramatic mess.
He's going to come out at the end of the season as trans.
You reckon?
I reckon. No, obviously that's not going to happen.
Beautiful and brave.
Beautiful and brave, and we completely accept
They
Master
want
Chiefs.
beautiful and brave heroes, so the best way to do that is, of course.
Yep.
I don't think so. They won't do that.
Of course they won't do that, but like with what we've seen so far, do you really think that they like?
But if they could, people
Absolutely
making the show would legitimately think it would increase the quality of the show, because they think quality is about ticking certain progressive checkboxes and not actually having a good character, good story, and everything like that. And to me, have a character that transitions or not doesn't impact if it's going to be good or not. Actually, it depends on what you're trying to promote as healthy.
What the story is.
Yeah.
Like if the story is about a trans person, there's shows about that called Euphoria. People who watch that.
You know, a show that has a transition that I think is phenomenal.
What?
Is Predestination. Best, literally the best time travel film I've ever watched.
Yeah, one of the
best. It's amazing.
Ones.
Okay,
Yeah.
and for the purpose of that story, yeah, like they needed a transition for the story to actually work.
It's literally in the title.
Well,
Predestination. It's Predestinational Paradox.
yeah, have you seen the movie?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
A great Aussie movie. Yeah.
And so they literally needed a transition, a sexual transition in that, and I would object and say, you can't take that out of the film because it's essential to the plot.
Yep.
Okay? And so if you're saying, Shad, you just have issues with trans representation, no. If it's important to the plot, absolutely. I will fight for it to remain in because I don't care about the representation, I care about the story.
Like Elden Ring. Radagon is Marika.
Yeah.
There you go. No, we didn't care about that.
Okay? It's funny, right, actually. You know a hilarious anime? It's called Ranma Half.
Ranma Half?
So the whole concept of this story is that, and this is not spoilers, but there's these water pools in China that are cursed, and if you fall into a pool, you will turn into whatever drowned in that pool last. And so if you fall into the pool of drowned pig, what'll happen is, whenever cold water is sprinkled on you, you'll turn into a pig, but warm water will turn you back into your normal self. Ranma, the main character, who is this masculine, butch, arrogant martial arts dude, falls into the pool of drowned girl. So you can imagine he turns into a girl whenever cold water is sprinkled on him. The shenanigans are hilarious in Half. It's a bit lewd, okay, I'll give you a warning and everything.
Wouldn't a quick rub just turn him back to a male? Just problem solving here.
But anyway, going back to this dumpster fire of Halo, I was saying that there were 3 massive dum-dum moments, right? And we talked about the one which is like the burying thing, and we're going to jump to the tangential stuff as well that are just so stupid in all of this, okay? So, the next big dumb moment was how they found the artifact. I think that was what I had in my head. But if not, I'll remember it as we go along. But literally, they could have just scanned for it. All of this is pointless. Okay, they didn't need it. And they say they didn't need this whole poorly executed, boring, melodramatic crap about his feelings and his emotions and his past is so annoying. And it just makes Master Chief look like he's mentally unstable.
He literally is. That's what
Master Cheeks
is unstable.
He is mentally unstable.
Yeah.
And this works against the show. It doesn't make us endeared towards the characters, doesn't make it sympathetic or anything like that. It doesn't make him cool. All of it just checks... average audience person watching checks them out.
Yeah.
Thing.
Okay, let's be real here for a second though, right? They've had those little what are they? Hormone regulators or not memory, like emotion regulators in their lower spine since childhood.
The pellets. Yeah.
To be fair, pulling them out, that might actually upset the chemical balance in their brain that they've been accustomed to.
You'd think so. Yeah. Oh, sorry. The next massive. So there are 3 different parallel plots in this episode. One is the Cheeks' story of discovering his past, and that's the biggest one, and it's utterly pointless. Utterly, like, you could have achieved everything in this episode, but just with scaring the planet. All of it is unneeded, and it's boring. It is a boring show about a man discovering his feelings.
Yeah, and discovering a MacGuffin that we don't know what it does. Does nothing so far. And
the story is so dumb because, like, Dad burying all the, like, the drawings, the creepy stuff with Halsey, all of it is bad, okay? But then the other parallel stories is now we finally have the daughter who was just like, I'm so great in the other episodes that was doing nothing. They're finally trying to make her do something. And this entire arc in this episode of what they discover is, again, massive, stupid plot. Like I said, there was 3 big, dumb plots. It's like, there's 3 stories, and each story is founded on complete, astounding stupidity. I'm not kidding. So get this. The arc that she has in this episode is that she discovers that the Spartans know some of the alien language.
And this triggers a thought. Maybe they might have a language. We should write some of that down.
We're not kidding. Okay, that's it. It's like, and the writers are aware of this, and they tried to make it covered up. And she says in the episode, I can't believe we didn't do this 20 years ago. Yes! I can't believe it either! You freaking retard!
You're telling me you've had 30 years of sustained warfare losses against a highly advanced technological race that is intent on destroying your entire species, and you didn't think, hey, let's try to understand what the they want!
Oh, what are they saying? It's like, we won't bother asking the Spartans, or, like, the Spartans learned it just because they heard it in the battles, but guess what? The Spartans record the entire battles from their headset and everything.
Yeah.
You're telling me no one bothered watching the Spartan engagements with the aliens at all?
Nope.
This entire freaking time?
Nope.
Are you kidding me?
Well, it must be rare, Shad, because we've only seen one of the things so far.
I can't believe it.
Shad, like, this is probably the worst written thing. This is worse than Wheel of Time, by far. You got to admit that. This is worse than Wheel of Time.
Like every episode has been awful.
Whew. Okay, there we go.
Halo, the series, is worse than Wheel of Time. It's not as much of a desecration to me because I love Wheel of Time so much and there's that personal thing. But in terms of just objective writing, there was a single episode in Wheel of Time that wasn't terrible.
Which one was that?
Episode 4.
Was that...
I'm not saying it's great, I'm saying it wasn't terrible. We're not done yet, Oz.
I know, but I want to show you something, because there's literally like a 3-minute segment. Not even 3 minutes, it's literally like 3 lines.
But I need to finish off this.
Yeah, go through it, man, go through it.
Is that they had all these engagements with the aliens, they have recorded the things, the Spartans engagements, and out of just due diligence, pure, blatantly obvious tactics, you would scour through the recordings of every single engagement with these aliens and listen to every single word, and this knowledge would not only be held by the Spartans. Everyone who studies these recordings would understand the context and the language, everything. This episode, they are literally saying no one has done that, and only the Spartans listened to what the aliens were saying to the point where they actually understand some of the language.
Somehow. You learn, okay.
I can't believe it!
Typically when learning a language, you start with like a base, like, okay, this apple. You point at apple and say, apple, right? But when you're in a war zone and you take someone's gun away from it and point it back at them, if they say the name of that gun to you, what?
It's not even justified in the episode because we think it's the name of the gun, but it could also be
literally anything.
Anything else. Crap. So they actually, in the episode, acknowledge that could be anything. We actually don't know the language, but we're going to decode the language anyway because we're right and we know what they mean.
I'm picturing in the future when they have diplomacy with the Covenant for a bit, they hand the weapon back and they're like, "Hungry bibida," right? They say the word, and then the alien's just like, "Huh? He just handed me the gun and said, holy shit, don't shoot me." I won't shoot you. Because that's probably what it meant.
This show, man, I can't. The astounding thing about this, right?
They're aware of that.
They were aware of this problem. They acknowledged it in the episode, but they thought that justified it. And then this whole scene is framed that, like, as they've discovered something important and that this is really clever. It's like, what if someone says a word and then we piece it together? The language is like, I bet the writers are like high-fiving and just like, this is so good, man. We're so smart how they're organically discovering the language when it is next level stupid.
In the movie Saving Private Ryan, during D-Day, there's two soldiers who are dressed in German uniforms who come out while the Americans are running past and, you know, taking everything over, and they're saying something in a different language. We don't know what it is.
I know this.
Yeah, and they're saying, "Don't shoot. We are not Czech. We're not Germans."
We're not Germans, and they also even said like, we didn't kill anyone.
Yeah, and the American soldier's like, "What?" Bang, bang, kill him. And they say, "What do you think he was saying?" He said, "Look, I washed for supper." Like, what else would the aliens be saying when they're pointing their own gun at them?
But
oh man,
I know. Right? Hey, like, Saving Private Ryan is a good movie, and that is just subtle beauty. Like you know, so much the audience will go beyond them, but that's like showing we don't need to spell everything out to the audience. In fact, we'll even do clever things that very few people will acknowledge, but it's the authenticity and quality of the scene that we're working with. In this show, like an example of that, they do not believe the audience has any brains and have to spell everything out. We see a scene of the girl Spartan, one of the girl Spartans, taking out her like thing, right?
Yeah.
And there was a scene where she was watching Master Chief take out his, you know, emotion pellet, right? You could have just had her standing at the thing. Well, I kind of have that at the beginning, standing at the bathroom thing with a knife and a bit of blood. We know what's happened. That's it. Yeah. Done. But then they do that, and then they show more and more, and then they zoom in to the hole in the back, just to like, this is what she's done, audience, because you're so stupid. Yeah. We need to make sure you know this is what's happened, and they don't stop there. Then they show the pellet in the sink as well, and they zoom into the pellet. It's like, we get it. We're not retarded.
The Shills are saying stuff like that, right? They're saying, oh, the reason he had to take his helmet off because otherwise the audience would have thought he was literally a robot. Like, okay, how about you just have him taking the helmet off? He sits back. Like, the audience isn't as stupid as you execs. Like,
yeah. The writers are
the retards.
Not the sharpest knives in the drawer. Let's say, as evident by how astoundingly dumb the writing is, and it's reflected also by the fact that. I get the impression we wouldn't understand this if it was so like we need to spell it out as clearly as what they need to understand things. That's so stupid, man. This is so bad. And you're right. Every single episode is just utter garbage.
Yeah, and worse than the last one.
Yeah. It gets. This is progressively worse. This is probably the worst episode, I think. Yeah. In terms of stupidity and pointlessness. All right, and then Kwan's whole arc. Like, so that was the third story thing that I think.
Master Chief had a whole arc too.
Yeah.
A whole.
Again, completely pointless. Yeah. We don't care about Kwan. We don't care about this thing. Like, when I say pointless, this is.
What the hell even happened in that?
Like, look at Halo, the original story. None of this was there.
Nothing was wasted in that story.
Exactly.
No time was wasted.
It's really efficient, concise. They created a character that we don't care about, that is obnoxious and just even her haircut just looks awful. And like you just look at her and just goes like, you're an awful character. I don't even like watching you because your haircut and everything is just awful, right? So everything about her is awful, but they've introduced her, they need to justify her existence, and they're giving her this whole separate side story, which means nothing to the Halo fan base, the lore, the universe, like the original. It's just injected, created bullcrap, and it's so friggin' dumb as well. So get this. Other massive dumb moment, right? She arrives back on Madrigal. Is that the planet Madrigal?
Yeah, Madrigal.
And she the friend sees her. It's like, he literally says, Kwan, you're alive? Careful, so-and-so is looking for you. I'm not kidding. I paraphrased a little bit to condense it, but those lines are almost back to back from each other. He didn't know that she was, like, he assumed she was dead, and the next line, someone's looking for you, even though we all thought you were dead.
Yeah.
And then they show a wanted poster right there. And this guy's like, you're alive? With a wanted poster of Kwan indicating she's alive. Oh, this show is so dumb!
This was written. You see, this is why I think that it's either done on purpose or there's a massive list of things that are just handed to them by woke people like, hey, you have to meet these or you don't get a show. And it's all so contradictory and hits and, you know, conflicting. And so this is the crap we get. We get stuff that makes literally no sense. No sense. This show is literally nonsense. It makes no sense.
And so much of what they're trying to do is like, when I say pointless, the only thing you could even remotely say is close to Halo was the opening fight, right?
That's it. That's the only thing.
And that's it. Everything else is nothing like Halo.
Nothing in any
There is
way.
no true conflict between the Covenant and the aliens. There's no actual fighting or any of this crap. It's unbelievable how off the mark and at the same time how bad it is. Because if you were just to divorce this from Halo and just look at it on its own merits, it's also awful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's just terribly written. And
nothing compelling about it whatsoever.
nothing
Not a single thing compelling.
And the things that they're trying to push the plot forward are drawn out and stretched to ridiculous levels. These plot points that are pushing this bad story forward could be achieved so much more concisely and efficiently. And what they've put in after they've stretched it out is so dumb.
Yeah.
And is justified with nonsense. Yeah. Just like you said. Utter nonsense.
If it's not nonsensical, it is the cheapest, the lowest form of what could be considered like an idea. Like barely even an idea.
Perfect example of what you're talking about. Where the Halsey's daughter, whatever she is, you know, the I'm So Great girl.
Miranda, yeah.
She's talking with the Spartans and this is a pointless scene, but they want you to care about the Spartans. They want the Spartans, and so they have this story about them having pets, and they had to kill their pets, and it's so generic. It's like
we predicted that.
I know.
I was watching it last night with my mate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we heard they have pets. They probably had to kill them.
Yeah.
And you said the same thing.
Exact same thing. As soon as I hear their pets, like they're gonna, because they're not talented, they're not creative, and so they're gonna go with the lowest hanging fruit, what's obvious. And so we saw it in Kingsman. I've seen it in another movie as well. And Kingsman actually did it in a creative way, right?
Where they didn't end up killing their pets.
Yeah, exactly.
It's blank.
And like when we watched this, we knew they were actually going to be because they want to be edgy. Remember, they wanted the show to be, and it's not. And so that's why we knew that they would have actually killed the pets.
When they show, a child being beaten to death for being on break too early in the third episode, that the kind of tone they're going to go for just abruptly.
Yeah, for no reason, no justification or anything, and they're trying to make the Spartans, they're emasculating all the Spartans now, where they're all emotionally conflicted and all this stuff, because now the girl Spartan's going through the same process.
Except for Vanek.
And she puts gun oil through her hair to make it red.
She shouldn't even have hair. She's...
Oh, this is so bad.
I just love the complete tonal deafness. It's like, oh, look, I've made my hair pretty and red. Beat a child to death! Oh, look, I've made my hair beautiful. Body parts flying off.
So you're absolutely right that when it's not nonsensical, it's the most generic, overused crap that they inject, and they inject it in a horribly boring and poorly executed way.
Yeah.
Because the whole pet arc, that can be done in an interesting way. But one, you shouldn't have it because it's distracting, okay? If you want to show Spartans having to do difficult things, it would have been great when Master Chief got the thing to kill Kwan, that he just lifts up, blows her head apart. Yeah. That would actually is like, oh, he's willing to do some really serious stuff. And then they could have referenced, like, the pet thing is like, you didn't hesitate at all, just like with Fofo, whatever. It's like, and then he looks at, what do you mean? It's like, he was the one who first killed the dog and he didn't hesitate at all. Done. Yeah. And you already have like a kind of a punching impact thing. You don't need to spend so much time about, oh, we get to keep the dog if we exceed the missions. I succeeded this many missions. I never lost a mission. No, so you got to keep the dog. No, Halsey killed it anyway.
It was a pig.
What?
It was a pig.
Was it?
Yeah.
So, really badly executed. It's a distraction, and even if you want to have some type of conflict that shows the Spartans willing to do morally grey things just because they're trained that way, you could execute it so much better.
That's putting aside the fact they're not meant to be morally grey at all.
Yeah,
They're meant
exactly.
to be soldiers.
It's completely like separate and contrary to the themes and idea of Halo in the first place. And so they're injecting their own nonsense because they want their own show. They don't care about reflecting what Halo's actually like. And the cherry on the cake to this is that even with the new crap that they're creating, because they're making their own show, is that it's all awful anyway.
Yeah.
So,
you take away the word Halo, all the characters, it's nothing good.
And so, yeah, the whole thing with, like I said, the Spartans is nonsensical, but there's this also really dumb thing, right? So this arc with the daughter, the I'm So Great girl, and the Spartans starts with the Spartans hating her, specifically the Spartan girl, who's the kind of main focal character of the Spartans in this exchanges. Like, she really hates... What's her name again?
Who?
The I'm So Great girl.
Oh, that's, it's hard to know. Something Keys. I've forgotten her name because she's nothing like the character in the bloody Miranda.
So they hate each other, right? They hate each other, They talk about random crap. They still dislike each other. And then, towards one of the final scenes of this, side story, they're friends. For no justified reason.
I think they're more than friends at this
She
point.
literally says, we're like sisters. How the hell did you get there? They've done nothing that would, make them close at all. They've just discovered or worked out a language of something that they should have worked out before. They've done nothing kind or charitable to the other. They never helped them out when someone was in trouble or gave a concession to them, took their back on something, or actually had a connecting moment. The connecting moment they tried to do was like, you lied to me about my hair. What? It's terrible, isn't it? That was the connection. But then she's like, we're like sisters. Right, that's not a connecting moment. You're being...
Yeah.
And so then they're suddenly good friends, if you know what... it seems like they're going to be going somewhere with that.
Have you heard of the show Euphoria?
No.
It's a show about a tall, blonde trans lady in a relationship with a short, mulatto, mixed black girl who's... they're together in the show, and it looks literally identical to that, except aged up by 10 years.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. You got Halo mixed with Euphoria. For all you Euphoria fans, you degenerates.
So going back to the Kwan arc.
Yeah.
So it's so dumb. Where I thought you were dead, then you're not. And the whole thing is just like, we need to have the resistance, but it's pointless because the bad guys in power. All of it is irrelevant. We don't care.
Completely irrelevant and nonsensical. My father started with 50 fighters, and they have control of the entire planet. Guns, men, the backing of the UNSC.
And then they're trying to do this strange arc for Kwan's, like, your father, when he went away and spoke with the desert nomads, is like very Dune vibes.
That's what people are saying online. Geniuses online were like, dude, this is exactly like Dune. In the fact that the planet has a resource on it which is essential for fueling these ships. And their father was the one who was responsible for it.
So, massive Star Wars vibes. It looks exactly like Jeddah from the movie, the Rogue One. And then also Dune vibes. They don't want to lift it all from Halo. They try to make it everything other than Halo.
Everything else but Halo. Everything else.
Pointless butt scenes. There are some Halo rings. Oh, by the way... Sacred rings, right? Halo, the word was actually mentioned, and they didn't get it from a translation. This is back with the Spartan girl and I'm So Great girl thing, where they translate sacred ring. And then from that, they just said, that must mean... she just said...
She points to a circle and says, Halo.
It's a halo. Oh! It's like... Where did you get that connection? There's not a sacred ring. I wouldn't think sacred ring, that must mean a halo, the ring that, appears above angelic type beings or something like that. But they have to inject it somehow. It's like, they're trying to remind us, this is supposed to be Halo, guys. Like, no, it's not. It is so divorced from Halo that Master Cheeks, right? I now resent when he wears the helmet.
Yeah.
And, like, it's so dumb that he barely wears it to begin with. And literally, when they get to the planet, there's a small moment in which he puts the helmet on. Okay? And I resented it. I was like, don't wear the helmet. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve to even look like Master Chief, because you're not. You're Master Cheeks. But then, of course, when he gets to the planet, which they don't know what's there, they don't know the enemy type or anything like that, he takes it off straight away.
Do you know why they did that? Why they included this whole ridiculous thing just for one... They did it for one shot, right? It's just a picture.
Oh, yeah, when we're holding the helmet next to him.
Yeah. So, that was that, right? That was that. They just wanted that one shot. People would be like, oh, that's just like the advertising trailer for the failed dead game. The game that has less players on it at peak than a game that's full of, at the oldest, 2012. So how old is that? 8 years old? 8 years old.
Well, no, 2012. That's 10 years old.
10 years old, my bad.
We're in 2022.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah. So 10-year-old games
are getting
more play than... See what an absolute failure 343 Industries is. And they signed off on this crap. They signed off on all of it.
They don't care about Halo then if they approve of this dumpster fire.
They fundamentally cannot create anything that even resembles Halo in any way. And it just goes to show, because it's been 11 years of failure. They've had it for longer than Bungie has. Anyway, so...
So that's the broad overview. This is... there was nothing enjoyable in this entire episode.
Not a single thing.
So I give it a 0 out of 10.
There's not a number I can give it, because there's not a number that would be low enough.
So those are our broad thoughts. Now we're going to go through scene by scene, just to comment on things as they come up, because we often remember things as it goes through, because it's almost like reliving a trauma, but we'll do it for you.
Yeah, like John did. John Cheeks. Okay, so...
So do you want to bring
Wait, before we do, so there was two things I wanted to show you, right?
Okay.
In the show, they're like, what makes Master Chief special, right? This has been done before. It was done at the very beginning, literally the intro of, it's a 2-minute thing, Halo 3 intro. And it's actually compelling versus the rest of this show, which is crap. And the music, man, like... Can we hear it? Is there sound?
Yep.
There we go. This is all the backstory we needed at the time. This is all we had.
They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that? Choose whichever Spartan I wanted.
Okay, so this is Cortana saying she had... So they've contradicted that.
I did my research. Watched as you became the soldier we needed you to be. Like the others, you were strong and swift and brave. A natural leader. But you had something they didn't. Something no one saw but me. Can you guess? Luck.
See, simple. Tells us what we need to know about the character. It gives us a little bit of like, ooh, more questions.
Is I wrong?
But this episode opens with, why is he so special? We don't know. She says, I don't know why he's so special. He just is. Excuse my language. And also, right, I don't need to show you it, but the part where it's like going back and literally showing the coin thing and how they met and everything like that, they do like 3 lines at the very end of Halo 3 that show that, right? Mm-hmm. And when that's happening, you're literally fighting through fleshy hell. You're in a place that is full of like the most horrific abominations you can imagine.
Yeah.
Satan himself is whispering to you at the time, and Cortana is trapped in there like freaking out, going through old memories.
Can I speak with you, please? What's your name? Oh, it's very nice to meet you. You like games? So do I. It was the coin's fault! I wanted to make you strong, keep you safe.
Oh man.
Yeah, good storytelling.
Good storytelling, you know? And it's just like... and you're fighting through hordes of demons, people. And it's just like, and no. What we get is we get a creepy bloody, our little secret. Here's a chocky bar.
Don't tell your parents.
Don't tell anyone. Thanks, Rolf Harris. See you later. What the f***? are these people smoking and where can I get it, Shad?
You don't want to.
I don't want to because it clearly makes you brain dead. What kind of... They drink it like they smoking super meth? Just completely addles their brain. What the... I can't, Shad. I can't imagine. I can't... Oh, man.
It's progressive wokeness.
This is your mind on communism. And the people... Look, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Except when it comes to this. What is wrong with you? You like this? This is the cheapest possible thing. Like, look at the ending, right? They're playing the swelling, stock music footage where they're like, oh, she often sees people as silly and emotional. Like, just the swelling music while crap happens on screen.
Yeah. So they try and... The whole veneer that I mentioned in the last review, where they're trying to make this feel grand.
Yeah. Big ideas.
Big ideas when they actually do not have the intelligence or talent to pull this off, but they're trying to make it feel like it is. And so when they do find the artifact, when they went through this whole pointless bullcrap and they eventually get that, there's this big growing music, they're walking in, and then they have the other character talking about what Halsey will do and why she's, all this crap. And they did not earn it. There's no emotional payoff there, but they have the music there to make you feel like it is. It's like all they're walking to artifact. They haven't achieved anything of significance, but the show is trying to convince you through the music and the pacing and the background monologue that they have. And it's like, you dishonest piece of crap. You're not there. Don't even try to tell me that this is some type of important emotional moment. Yeah. Yet, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people who are totally unaware of it, and all they need is the music to make them feel emotional.
Yep.
And because they feel emotional, they don't understand why, but it must be genius.
Which is, no, in a way, it's also kind of genius that they've done that, because they're aware that people will think emotionally and that they're stupid because that's what they're narrating in this scene.
That's
while
what
the
they're going
plays.
to be. So much of modern media, it just banks on the belief and unfortunate, what seems to be somewhat true, reality that most of the audience who will be watching this are stupid and we can get away with them. And they're taking advantage of their audience. Like, Star Wars does this. They hang the shiny keys of fan service.
Ooh, look, Yoda.
And they can shovel crap into their mouth in the process.
Yeah.
Because Boba Fett and Mandalorian, they're crap, horribly written shows. But if you just give them member berries and do the jingles, people will accept crap. The thing with Halo, they don't even have the member berries or the fan service in this, but they got the progressive tick boxes.
Yeah.
And this is the same with Wheel of Time. So many people loved Wheel of Time, not because it was a good show, but because it represented them.
Oh, yeah.
That's what made it a good show.
Yeah.
That's what they'll be judging it on. And so because this show is representing them, and they're emasculating good, strong male heroes and everything like that, and it's got all those tick boxes, and then they're so dumb that the emotional fakery and it's not bait and switch. It's what's the thing in Magic where you have a distraction? It's misdirection. It is emotional misdirection where they just have the music there to make you feel all good, and they won't even realize that they haven't earned it. They didn't get there, but there's going to be groups that will love this show because of it, and they'll think it's phenomenal.
And I struggle to believe that.
I
know it's true.
It's true, but it's so disingenuous. But also, it's they're taking advantage of gullible people as a result, and the state of modern media. So let's start with going through scene by scene breakdown. Yeah. We got the it was giving me PTSD. The breakdown of what happened to this point. It's like, I don't want to be reminded. It's all awful.
We've had 4 hours of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what happens when you're 4 hours deep into Halo 1?
What?
You're already trying to get off the bloody ring. Most of the game's already happened.
The only rings there are, obsessed with this show.
Yeah, sacred rings.
Yeah.
Which is odd because the show definitely has
Let's just quickly talk about how pointless the butt scenes were in this. So now we see the guy on Madrigal, Bad Guy Planet. There's a scene... This isn't like, it's not Game of Thrones.
They've done the same thing with Wheel of Time, though. It's nudity that no one wants to see. It's not supermodels that are getting their tits out. It's a
which is exploitative, and I don't think should be in there either.
Well, but if they're going to give us nudity, please give me something that's going to make me, get a rise out of me, so to speak.
And that's the explanation that we give. Like even though we disagree with the nudity in Game of Thrones, at least they had a reason for it, right? There's no reason here at all. Apart, it's just like we don't need to see this.
We don't want to,
and it's utterly pointless. You're telling me you would actually have this conversation with a guy butt naked in a pool, like a bath?
Like, this guy's a work colleague? This is your boss? This is sexual harassment.
It's so dumb and bad.
Cancel him. Oh, man. But yeah, that's what we wanted to see from Halo, man. We really just wanted to see a 40-year-old man's glistening, cold cheeks. Just a wiry, glistening man who's got like a Hitler cut.
And they think that this somehow elevates the show. Otherwise, why would they put it in? And so they like this stuff. Weird, creepy nudity, pointless.
Tell you what, the 60-year-old women who really love Bond villains and get turned on by them, they're loving this. They're also watching this show in droves, because we're...
Well, it seems like they're catering to a specific audience that would be a very incredible minority in terms of the Halo fan base.
Probably an incredible minority in terms of just
think about
population.
the type of demographic who would get turned on by such a scene. And this isn't like Chris Hemsworth either. Like,
it's not.
I like the actor, but he's a creepy-looking actor. That's why he does so good in creepy roles. But they decide to get his cheeks out.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
The dude would not look out of place as, like, Smeagol dressed as Adolf Hitler. Like...
But they're going to show him on. It's like...
When he was in that water, I was expecting him to sing about the rock and pool is nice and cool and beat a fish to death. Like, that's what I was expecting to happen.
It wouldn't be out of place.
Yeah. In Halo, the only ring he's interested in is the ring of Mordor, man. He wants that thing. Like, what are these people thinking, Shad?
I have no idea. It's so divorced from reality and the fan base, and...
We didn't look at the games. You should have just sprung that on us. You shouldn't tell us. This would have been a very neat surprise for us to figure out on our own.
We would have figured it out from the first episode.
Instantly.
This is just... It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable how bad this show is and what they're doing. And again, like I have trouble understanding the mindset where they think that this would improve the show. Let's throw in creepy guy naked.
This is $100 million, Shad. Look at what they bought.
And on that note, there is unbelievable waste in money. Like Halo, there are certain things in like the Halo concept which you would know would take a lot of budget. For instance, space battles and the gunfights and all those things.
CG.
Right? Important CG stuff. Yet, instead of reserving a lot of the money for that, they have blown like incredible amounts of money on things that are pointless. The Madrigal stuff, every single CG thing that they did with the Madrigal arc, because it's pointless to the Halo story, they have this huge set, which is like this desert Tatooine, Dune-looking thing from Rogue One, basically. That would have cost insane amounts of money to set up, yet it's for a pointless side plot.
That has nothing to do with Halo.
And they are blowing millions of dollars on this crap.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, the waste.
That was one theory, is that this show is literally just a money laundering scheme. And the only way I know that that's not true is because they fired both the people responsible for this thing before it finished and came out. That's how you know that the studio looked at this and thought, we probably should have paid more attention to these retards. Look at what they've done. They've blown $100 million on something no one asked for, has nothing to do with the title it's attached to.
Gosh.
And on standing alone from its title, it still sucks really, really bad.
Really bad.
Yeah, so... Yeah, okay, here we go. Flashback. We'll determine what it is. Yeah, they don't know what this MacGuffin that they're wasting so much resources on is. They're building up like it's the best thing since sliced cheesecake, and...
Gosh. And there are certain other indications that they could try and figure out. Not that it's... They said it's like so a certain amount old, and then it's older than humanity, and I think they got the age of humanity wrong in that sense.
Yeah, it said 100,000 years old.
No, not they didn't even do that. I think it was like 5,000 years
No, they
old.
said 100,000.
I can't remember. But anyway, the fact they could have... There's so many ways that they could justify certain things, but I kind of resent trying to justify their bad plots, even though you could justify it in a better way, but they don't have the talent to even execute their bad plots well.
Yeah.
But you could easily just say, well, we don't know who made it. This is not, Covenant. It's not human. This is advanced technology of some other alien race. That's massively significant.
Yeah.
You might want to look into that,
Yeah.
but they don't say that. That's not even on their radar. It's like it's glowing when we touch it.
And that's generally...
But, I mean, look, they're trying to justify it because it's a weapon that the Covenant wants, so we need to get it first.
Yeah, but still, right? In Halo, when they're on the ring, they're like, apparently...
Well, that information comes from, like, basically a meth addict crazy man.
Yeah, it blacks me like that.
And the guy that confirmed it is having literal delusions.
Hallucinations, yeah, worse, man. And I guess, yeah. But, like, in the games, they're like... We found this ring, I'm going to try land on it because we're getting pursued by a Covenant armada after our planet just got destroyed. Yeah. Let's land on it. They land on it, they're like, what the hell is this place? They search around. They put Cortana into one of the machines.
It's not too far out of the realm of possibility that they would just stumble upon the Halo rings.
Well, they kind of didn't. Back on Reach, there was an artifact they found that Halsey and Cortana were studying. She got the coordinates for some place.
Reach is getting blown to bits, aren't they?
Well, not blown to bits. It's called glassing. It's literally basically a lightsaber that melts.
Yeah, so they're escaping like the destruction.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so they have something that is giving them a signal or something to it?
No. So, like, there was a Forerunner artifact on Reach underneath, like, layers of ice. And Halsey and Cortana were studying that while stuff's going down at Reach. It's what the Covenant were after, why they went there, right? Mm-hmm. And so they're studying that, and presumably she got the coordinates from that artifact.
Which makes sense.
Which, when they made a blind jump, she was in control of the ship, they just went there.
Yeah. But see, even if I reckon they didn't even need to do that, because this is the thing. Humans are colonizing a lot of, habitable planets, but in terms of the habitable planets amongst the uninhabitable ones, they're very few and far between, and with the amount of...
Not in this world. Do you know how many planets they have in this world?
How much?
I think they have 113, which is quite a bit.
Yeah, but
300 years of colonization.
Yeah, but there would be heaps of inhospitable planets amongst them as well, just on the numbers. What I'm saying is, it seems like the Halo rings seem to be orbiting habitable planets.
No, they're not.
They're not?
They're not. They're orbiting gas giants for the most part. The two we see in the Bungie games, two of them are orbiting gas giants, and one of them is outside the galaxy.
Okay, well then it does make sense that they'd have a signal to into it.
But they have a blast radius of 25,000 light years, and there's 7 of them, and when they fight at the same time, it's 3 times the size of the galaxy they have the blast effectiveness. So they're quite big, and they're meant to be weapons, and they were built and hidden during a time where they're at war with something that knows their thoughts and memories, so they had to hide them pretty bloody well. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So well, anyway, we'll continue on.
Yeah. We don't know what it is. Deuterium rich.
So dumb.
Loose the pellet. He's going connected to Xbox
This is all
Live.
backstory stuff that we don't need.
This is them training.
Kids, yes.
Soren. And then he's in detention, and it still looks less childish than when he was before. Because look, he's not scared, he's like, okay, I'm waiting here. Whereas Master Chief was like, am I in trouble? Bloody hell. Yep, and this is ridiculous. Like, they say, okay, so why would your eyes be seeing, like she says, you're not actually seeing that. It's just what your mind thinks that it's seeing.
Yeah, the explanation. Instead of saying you're making this crap up, she could just say what you're seeing isn't actually light. It's actually, acknowledging he's seeing something, but they just frame it like he's not actually seeing anything.
Yeah, but we're clearly seeing it. In the games, and this is the second time we've seen it, and another character saw it, Kwan. In the games, it's literally just grey or bright light. Because it's a dimension beyond physics.
Yeah.
Anyway, and they're asking, what's so special about him? And she's like, I don't know. I've been training this guy for 30 years. I have no idea what's special about him. It's a bit of a practical joke at this point. Sunk $50 billion into his training and armor. Don't know what it's about. And he's clearly malfunctioning now. Oh, man. Who knew that putting a woman and a naive, annoying woman who has an answer for everything directly into your skull would drive you crazy? Oh, man. Oh, dude, this guy looks done with the show. Oh, man.
It's like, you made me lick someone before. I'll go to...
Yeah. Well, you made me lick the future toilet. He looks done with it too. Like,
oh, gosh.
Just
that emoting.
And do you know why he's smiling there?
Why?
Because he's quoting Kwan. And he says, you're ruining it. Just like she did when they were talking while looking at the slip space stuff. Yeah.
Awful.
Great. Some CG. Cortana looks awful. This ship is way too small for Halo. you got to understand, Shad. Not even the Covenant, their ships that are this size, and they're the most technologically advanced race. Not even they can do slip space. Slip space requires a pretty big thing, and it's one of the most expensive things ever developed by man. They don't have a guard except for Master Chief, but even he's on the fritz, and they're afraid of him, and they've admitted this. Yeah, intro scene. We didn't get to see his cheeks. Lucky for us. Yep.
And so she's so lippy to him as well in this scene. It's just, she's an unlikable, obnoxious character that just
Literally Mary Sue.
every time she appears, I get annoyed because you don't enjoy anything about her.
Now, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news over in America, but there's been some similar trends going around with news stories. Now, if this lady was as lippy with Soren as any other person, I'm sure that she wouldn't be there anymore.
Probably.
We'll just leave that at that. Yeah, so thank you, Dave Chappelle, for appearing in Halo. We know it's not him. It looks very similar to him. That's not racist. It just does. He's so distasteful. Just utter contempt.
Yeah, I know. It's like that's going to be most of the expressions, either confusion or contempt.
Yeah, apparently he killed his own dad, which is useful to the plot for some reason. It's just brain... That's what the writers look like 24/7, just brain dead. Alright, back at Reach, and she's naked. Yay!
And interestingly, they don't show her rear end. Now, one, I'm grateful, but... I mean, look, they did show a female rear end before, but so far, they're skewing more male rear end than, female. And so, I say don't show any rear ends, but it just gives an indication of what audience they think that they're, catering to.
Yeah, probably gay people. Maybe. That's what Wheel of Time was doing.
Gay people and middle-aged men. Middle-aged women, sorry, yeah.
That's literally what people are saying on this. Really? Yeah, exactly what they're saying. But yeah, also, just casually just stare directly at your friend while she's naked.
Yeah.
You could,
they're Spartans, they don't care about nudity.
Yeah, but still, it's like, you don't need to stare directly at your friend. You can have a conversation like Shad. We're having a talk half the time we're looking at the camera. Alright, yeah, and if it wasn't clear enough, Shad, she took the pellet.
Yes, she took the pellet out.
You know how Master Chief had a pellet in his back that he cut out?
Yeah.
Well, we don't get to see that here, but she actually did it herself based on the evidence.
After we saw the blood, I saw her wash her hands, after we saw the knife, after we saw the cut in her back, just to make sure we got it.
But just to be sure, because I am a retard who enjoys this show, that might be Master Chief's one, and she was just admiring it.
Yeah.
He forgot to clean up his scene, He had to get out of there because Cortana saw his cock, and he was embarrassed, and so that's just the scene he left. Back on Desert Planet, Aridness 2.
And when I saw this, I was just thinking, what's with all this infrastructure? That's like a huge amount of building up. And there was like a flashback scene where it might have had some type of solar panel, so maybe it was made for some type of energy. But
we have no sense of scale. Like, how big is that area? Are those trees down there?
That's a city, I thought. See that little thing?
Looks like it, yeah.
It looks like a settlement.
That gradient on the bottom part that's hidden by the mountains a bit, I think those are trees. I think that's a forest. And I think the part that's under the shadow might be a forest too. Oh, yeah. You see that lowered part over on the right? I think that's the solar panels.
Solar panels.
Yeah.
So the scale of this is just
completely
ridiculous.
out of whack.
Yeah.
Makes no
sense.
sense.
It makes sense for some ancient, huge civilization, but
Yeah,
that is like an actual settlement.
That's
there.
it. Yeah.
And then look, all the dirt is actually blowing over full mechanical stuff.
Yeah.
It's like this is some ancient, unbelievably massive starship buried in the ground.
Yeah, and it's only like 20 years old at the most.
It's just...
Alright, land,
confusing.
and now they're in some sort of forest.
So this is where they go to his house, and there's the scene where he has the helmet next to him.
Yeah, takes it off
Takes it off straight away.
Just
Which, there's the scene.
Yeah,
there it is.
There it is.
And it's funny because I don't want to see him in the helmet because it's just insulting now. Yet I will still criticize the fact that he takes it off when it's tactically stupid.
Again, I've said it 1,000 times, and so has like dozens of other people on the internet that I was reading last night. It is if you were to list everything wrong with this is the bottom of the list. Yeah. This is the absolute bottom of the list. This is the final thing you'd list. All right, reach for life, blah 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 blah. He's that's my house.
Yep.
He even talks like a retard.
This is Cheeks discovers his past.
Yep.
The episode. We're not kidding.
Bury it, son. Bury your awful drawings.
Your drawings. And the amount of time they waste on this pointless crap. The purpose of it, like I said, is to discover where alien artifact is. You could achieve it straight away. Just scan the planet. But there's, this is important emotional development. No, it's boring, pointless. You don't need it.
How does he fit his nose in that helmet?
Oh, don't make fun of his nose. I got a big nose. That is a distinguished
Your nose is half the size of that man's nose.
My glasses hide it.
At least your nose is proportional to your face.
Look at it in profile.
At least your nose doesn't
No. I will not shame him for his nose. Okay? Sir?
Alright, I'll keep it between myself.
Your nose. So, this is so Star Wars. Like, the ship almost looks like a speeder. Just a hovering speeder.
It looks almost identical to Mando's ship in the first season. Except it doesn't have the back fins. That's the only difference.
And that city, it's totally Jeddah. Like, they can't create anything new. They just have to appropriate.
It kind of looks like the hills of Manasseh to me, but I'm not a geologist. Alright. Yeah, they touch down. Look at those excellent CG right there.
Look at that CG, man. Like, especially, just click play briefly, just for 2 seconds. Like, look at that, stop. That is awful green screen and effects. It's like they wasted so much money on all this other stuff. And, I mean, not only, I'm not saying they could have used money that they wasted elsewhere to improve this effect, but they didn't need to because this whole arc is pointless. Cut the whole thing.
Alright, yep. Look at the boys rocking up.
So what we call these are desert fascists.
Desert fascists.
Desert fascists.
Operation Desert. Because, well, the fascists have been in the
But,
desert.
like, literally, look at the coats. They're patterning them after...
Nazis, yeah.
The Reich.
Yeah, and he's even got the right haircut for it.
Uh-huh.
The Reich haircut for it.
And just... I can't help but notice there's a consistency in skin tone.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot with this episode too. Everyone who makes a mistake or does something bad or with malicious intent or is weak or having a massive hallucination...
They're all about diversity in certain areas, but in other areas, because they're complete hypocrites and it's all about power game and framing they want to be the enemies in society, it's just reflected. Like, it's pretty... Look at that. It's so blatant. Like, the haircuts...
Man, I'm starting to sympathise with them. Just kidding. I'd be cancelled if I said something like that. Alright, so they're going around like, how is everyone doing? I'm walking around and my men have guns trained on you all at all times, and I'm going to get back into my car for some reason. And she just casually walks around the street. He walks around still wearing Spartan armor strapped to his chest.
Yeah, it would stand out, obviously.
Great graphics there. I remember that on PS2 as well. And just...
So this is the scene where it's, you're alive? And then literally, so we'll skip through, we'll get to it. Like, so, random friend.
Yep. Where are they?
And then there's the wanted poster. And that's like, literally after he's like, you're alive! I can't believe, I thought you were dead! With that on the wall!
Poster literally right behind. Hey, wait a minute. What's that on the left of that?
Oh, it's an Xbox controller.
That's an Xbox. Huh. Okay. Well, I mean, if this was a good show, I'd be like, oh, cool Easter egg, but no, it's a shit show, so fuck you.
Stop insulting Xbox by showing it in this show. I wouldn't want anything I'm associated with appearing in this. I feel insulted.
Well, they didn't have any of Halo in this.
Yeah, she decides to rub, like, what was it? Gun oil or something?
That's gun oil.
Gun oil through her hair.
Can we ask Mrs. Brooks what would happen if you actually put oil through your hair like that? Like, that's thick stuff.
We won't break up the flow, but okay. I'll ask her a bit after that. And what is this supposed to do for us? Make us think us concerned for her?
They mention it when they're having the heart-to-heart, her and Miranda. She's like, it's an active rebellion against Halsey. And I'm just thinking, right, okay, so the lady kidnaps you at childhood, forces you to be a slave child soldier, and cuts your body up and kills lots of your friends doing it to try and make you stronger. And your response to this, basically crime against humanity, is
my act of rebellion will be to rub gun grease in my hair.
Yeah, what a great epic burn.
Like, that'll get it where it hurts.
Yeah. You know, between John having a literal schizophrenic episode and you putting gun grease in your hair, when she gets back, I'd burn the Spartan program down at that point. I'd just burn it all down.
It's a sign of how efficient they would be. It's like, that's what you think you're really achieving? You guys are not worth the investment.
Epic. No, but here's the thing. The writers of this show thought that was an act of rebellion.
Because it's like the protesters that they feel in protest that they're actually achieving something, they'll wipe their own period blood on their faces.
They're both red.
Where did it really come from?
Look, it seems to have the consistency of period blood.
Oh, that's gross.
Not kidding, man.
We apologise.
Don't ask how I know that. But seriously, right? No, do you know why? Because...
You know what she should have done as the proper effective act of rebellion? She should have walked into the main mess or the assembly hall, stand or get on her knees and just scream.
Oh yeah.
that would definitely do it. That would not make you look like a self-absorbed crazy person.
Yeah, and then while you're doing that, Master Chief is just gonna stroke the imaginary wall. But dude. Do you know where this came from?
What?
This excellent act of rebellion? Okay, let me paint a picture for you. There was a man who worked really hard, and he saved up some money, and he could afford to send his daughter to college. And in college, she learnt things that her dad was evil and part of the patriarchy, and in rebellion, she dyed her hair. And so this is where it comes from.
Seems like it.
Story as old as time. Yep. Oh,
Space toilet.
Space glory hole. Space toilet.
Toilet.
Yeah.
It's a toilet seat.
Maybe it's just a massive guitar pick.
It's giant. I'll be looking for it.
Yeah. Who knows? It could be literally anything.
I get this. So I'm trying to figure out what they wanted to achieve in this. She's testing it on other Spartans. The Spartans don't like her, and then they touch it, does nothing, and then the red-haired one is like, "Oh, this isn't developing any relationship."
Yeah, and for some reason it takes...
we learn nothing new about it.
Yeah, but it takes from day to night to do this. For them to touch it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Everyone, come into the room. Okay.
Oh, there was dumb exposition. That was right. It was like, so-and-so has achieved this, so-and-so has achieved that. We Spartans are so... No, we Spartans are this, Spartans are that.
We're so great. Aren't we so great? Oh, yeah. Oh, look. Reminding us he has a helmet. I wouldn't do that if I were you, because if we think this is Halo and we see it's nothing like Halo, you won't get good responses from us. Just try to help us forget
just hide it
Halo.
from now on.
Yeah. Just tell you what, make him naked again, okay? Strip away every piece of armor from him. He's Master Cheeks. All right. He's not going to get into any more combat, at least till the last episode.
And digging.
Yep, digging.
Cheeks digging.
Oh, look, and Halsey's copping a look at his cheeks from that angle. Yeah, and what do they find in there? What do they find?
See, I was thinking it was going to be some biological sample. Maybe like...
I thought it was going to be biological sample too. I thought it was going to be the bloody sewer system. It opens up as
like,
it's
a septic tank.
Still be less shit in this show.
I thought that it was going to be a specimen of the flood.
Oh, no.
It would have been dumped into juice so early and stuff and dangerous and everything. But that's where I thought, I was like... That would justify burying something dangerous.
I don't think they're going to interest in this. I think at the very end of the show, we'll see the Halo ring. Like they'll just show.
You're right. The Halo ring is going to appear in the last episode.
No, but not only that. It'll be the last thing we'll see. Probably. They'll come out and they'll see it on the horizon, and that's the last thing we'll see.
Yeah.
Plant pots.
And they'll do the whole musical build-up, emotional payoff, and then they didn't deserve that payoff because. That's something from the show that they're appropriating, but they'll try and do the whole, music thing that isn't, aren't we so great?
Yeah, they'll get to play their 5 notes of the Halo.
It's those scenes that really gives me the impression that the writers think that they're great and clever and this is phenomenal, because it's like they're paying themselves off. It's like those scenes where the music is building up, it's just them pleasuring themselves while they watch, like, aren't we so great?
I'm just glad that some human being got some form of pleasure out of this in that case. Also, look, GMOs. There's a reason they put that in there. There is a reason. There's a reason for everything. Anyway. Oh, yeah.
His drawings.
So he's drawn the ring from The Ring, the movie.
Yeah,
the horror
it looks
movie.
like that. Those drawings were so dangerous.
Yeah, he's drawn what looks like some 6-year-old tried to draw a Halo gun.
Definitely the dad that he had to get rid of them. He didn't decide to burn them.
Up in the top, there's even animals and stuff. It's just the dad was an asshole.
Truly, let's ask, what have the drawings achieved in the overall plot?
Oh, I know what they achieved. Based on his memories and drawings, they managed to figure out the general shape of what the keystone would fit into. But here's the crazy thing. They still have no idea what it does.
They don't need that drawing to know that it fit into anything. Like the actual physical drawings. He had a flashback of a drawing that made them realise that there's an artifact here.
Yep.
But in terms of discovering the physical drawings, they achieve nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
I'm not kidding. Because they figure out where the thing is buried from him having hallucinations. Not the drawings. They literally achieve nothing.
Yeah. You know,
There's no point for them to be here at all.
if they did my Forerunner language fix, like he's just scribbling the tons of
Yeah.
Forerunner, like they could easily tie that up along with the fact that the people back on Reach are doing the language shit with the Covenant. There you go. That's called conceptual symmetry, and it's something you do in story.
So, it's just so interesting that they give such time to these drawings and such attention when they are unaware of how pointless it is. It's like the writers are even unaware of it. The drawings do not serve anything in them actually finding the artifact, and they don't need the drawing of the artifact to know that it's subsidiary, because once they find it, they'll be able to just, oh, there's a hole there that's the shape of the toilet. So they achieve nothing.
Nothing, not a single thing do they achieve. And also, right, let's just... The idiocy of burying it in a container. That's going to preserve it. You'd be better off burying it without a container.
Well, the point is, why did he want to preserve it? There's no point.
He clearly wanted to. He put intent into it.
I know. It's so dumb. Like, we've already talked about how you could justify it if there was actually some special information or that the dad felt they might need reference in the future. There's no value. It's just...
Not a single valuable thing in this entire show.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we see a giant hula hoop.
It's oh, look at this, a ring. Ooh, what could that be?
Oh, yeah, and then we have the funeral procession, which just luckily...
So, like, they arrive on the planet at a random time whenever she can get free, and it just so happens to be the exact same day that they're having the memorial service for her father.
Yeah, for something that probably happened weeks ago.
Just think about how astronomically unlikely that is, right? But the writers, they're uncreative, and they're just like, we want some type of emotional thing, and they don't care about the veneer of realism, immersion, or anything like that, and it just shows how lazy they are. And they're just thinking, what's something that we might be able to exploit to get emotional conflict or a development, but they don't even get to use, because the fact that it's the memorial of her dad doesn't mean spit. This could have been a meeting of the community wondering how they'll survive the dictator, and they could have achieved the same. You didn't need it. They don't even exploit the lazy thing that they're trying to exploit here by it being the memorial thing of her dad, because nothing is achieved.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't, something important about her dad to remember her, or utterly pointless.
And there's so many ways you could fix it. They could be like, oh, we were going to have a thing once we finished clearing the bodies, but we couldn't find you. We thought you were dead. We were going to do it when we found your body and bury you together. Something like that, you know? Like, easy fix, whatever. You can explain it in any other prose you want. But, like, it's just lazy writing. Who gives... Is that her aunt? Is that her aunt?
I don't know.
Is that her aunt?
I think so.
That looks like the same Asian lady. I'm not racist, but it's hard to tell. Apparently China has facial recognition systems, right? But, like, is that her aunt?
Maybe, the one that gets killed.
Yeah.
Which was very obvious she was going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, if that's so, great job that you just, left her there. Yeah, we got Professor Quirrell on the right there. Yeah, you got Parangoski's sister.
And look, it's, some type of cultural moment so that we want to reflect how deep the world building is.
I'm sorry, Shad, but what culture does that look like to you? It's not Muslim.
I don't know.
Look at that, they've got like frankincense and myrrh.
Yeah, it looks Middle Eastern.
Yeah, it looks...
Middle Eastern / Asian Mongolian, I don't know.
To me, it looks like it's a biblical thing.
Biblical?
Look at the patterns. Look at the headscarves. They're not Muslim headscarves.
Yeah, so a bit Middle Eastern then.
Okay.
The Middle East is where the Bible
I understand
happens,
that,
so
Shad, but I'm trying to lead you to water, but you just won't drink. So we'll just move on from it then. Yeah, leading the resistance. What about the others? Yeah, okay. Okay. I can't just go to Afghanistan and start rallying the people and say, hey guys, we can take the Taliban away. We'll get rid of them. Unless I'm an Asian girl, apparently. Then I can do it. Then I can do anything. And I'll have Dave Chappelle to back me up.
And again, we don't care.
Yeah. Also, she says the attack on the outpost changed everything. Now everyone just wants protection from the Covenant.
I was like, that's okay, yes, yeah.
You know, that's exactly why the wars ended between the insurrectionists and the UNSC, and even then, the UNSC couldn't offer guaranteed protection.
And you'd think that, like, hey, Kwan, there's a point to that. Maybe you should stop threatening over, like, independence, all this bullcrap, and worry about the aliens.
Because what happens when you successfully deplete your resources by defeating the UNSC? What happens then?
Well, the aliens will just come and blow them up.
What? And I'm surprised they haven't already. I hope they do. I'm sorry, Kwan. Okay, all right. If anyone was going to take over, Oh man, I'm not even gonna bother. Anyway, then
She's so entitled and up herself.
Literally Asian. What's her name? Who's the chick?
Ray?
No, not Ray. The other one who's in real life. No, the one from real life. How dare you?
Oh, an Asian Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, Asian Greta Thunberg.
She's not an environmentalist though. She's not that bad.
Yeah. Oh man. No,
we care about the environment. We just don't want to kill humanity.
I mean,
in the process.
Earth first. Okay, we'll rape the other planets later. Okay, for resources. Earth first, though. All right. This is the most ridiculous written crap I've ever seen. It's like, just a hunch. Wars are won on hunches. I studied...
Which is nonsensical and dumb, by the way.
Yeah,
not won on hunches.
No, all warfare is based on deception. A deception is a type of subversion. This stuff is subversive. We're fighting a culture war.
Hey...
We live in a society too. So yeah, since she was 6 years old, she studied Sun Tzu and some other dude as well. Oh, isn't she so great? And in this same scene, after she says, I studied the battle tactics, my other friend can speak every single known language for mankind.
I thought it was like every language of the colonies or something.
No, every language for every colony.
Yeah, so Spartans, they're smarter than you think.
They're smarter than anyone. And the massive black guy, who's like probably the coolest character in this entire show, the most fitting for Halo, who would be a better Master Chief than the other dude. Honestly, I don't mind. Change his race. We never saw his face. Okay, fine, change his race. Make the black guy Master Chief.
It's interesting, because that's actually one that you could get away with, because the key identifying thing about Master Chief isn't his skin colour, it's his helmet and voice.
And badassery.
Exactly.
And how big he is.
Yes. So, out of all the main characters that you could actually get away with a race change that wouldn't really bother a lot of people, Master Chief is one of them. But they don't do that.
And of all the characters that they could have in the show that could possibly be a person of colour.
And by the way, I'm saying, no, you shouldn't even bother changing his race, but if you did, would have less issue with it, or even no issue with it. But the thing is, though, we don't actually think the colour of someone's skin determines the quality of a story. We're not racist like that.
Well, no, okay. Let's be categorical. It actually can. Look at the movie like Black Panther, set in Africa.
Yeah, good point, good point. But
just don't try to sell a on a plate and be like, no, this is exactly what you ordered, sir.
Yeah, but my point is, right, making a movie about, say, Wakanda and black people doesn't inherently make it a superior movie if it was about samurais, Asians, Chinese, Middle Easterns, or Europeans. It's the quality of the movie that makes it good, not the colour of the skin of the people in it.
Well, no, but there's a suspension of disbelief. Like the same thing for Wheel of Time. If what do you call it? Two rivers are as cut off as it makes out.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm saying comparing two different ones, and that if a lot is equivalent, right?
Yeah, no
and
doubt.
they have the skin colour that's
just
appropriate for their
one's full
setting.
Of black people,
yeah,
one's
exactly.
full of white people.
Doesn't make it better or worse, because we're not racist. We don't actually think that, just having skin colour makes people identify better with them.
Anyway, yeah, sure. Shad needs to preface everything. He wants his shields up all the way. I want a little crack that they want to sneak their way into so I can fucking hammer them. Every time. Anyway.
Alright, yeah, so Spartan's great.
Yeah, Spartan's great. And the Vanek, again, I'll say it again, the coolest Spartan who would be most fitting to play Master Chief, get this other weird guy out of here, this sad, mopey mess. He somehow, his observations on Covenant weaponry has improved the shields. He's a weapons scientist. He's a weapons scientist. Yeah, great, okay. Yep. Also, she freaks out, like, don't touch it! Even though, why is she in the room? Anyway, together we will prevail. And I'm telling you, man, the fact that they've just had a minority and a woman there, and then they walked out of frame and kept it there and kept the thing. Like, dude, symbolism. I've been reading a lot of Carl Jung, not Marx, thank goodness.
But the thing is, though, that's not the message of this story or the woke message at all. They don't want unity. They want division.
No. They want unity for everybody except one. And even then, they'll happily take the help of that one.
Unity for everyone except those that they see in power, even though they have most of the social power at the moment. But yeah.
Okay.
They identify the aggressor as the one at the top of the hierarchy.
Yeah, I understand. I understand power. Trust me, Joe. I understand these people, but it's literally against entirely white men.
At the moment, yeah, that's who they identify at the top of the hierarchy. Yeah.
At the moment, it will be for a long time. It has been for a long time. But yeah, like...
But the thing is, they also go after Asians because Asians do really well.
Yeah, they're happy to slot us in. They're happy to slot them in.
And they'll even call, literally, they will call Jewish people, Asian people, and even black people that don't agree with them as token white people and throw them in that same category as the oppressors. And it's all about division.
It's all internalized white supremacy.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, like it's complete hypocrisy. They're not trying to unify. And this show is an example. Are they trying to bring the fan base together?
No, they're trying to brainwash people.
Insult the fan base, make the actual existing fan base hate it, create more division, all right, through being, subversive and divisive with a pre-existing property. They want to destroy the masculine cool hero and everything like that. It's all about division for them. Divide and conquer is what they want.
They're trying to destroy basically a Christian product, because this is a Christian game. It's entirely about self-sacrifice.
Yeah, but it's a broad-scale attack now that we're seeing. Wheel of Time.
Everything.
Wheel of Time, Lord of the Rings is going to be next, but Terminator, Ghostbusters, Star Wars was one of the big early ones where they were trying to launch this attack.
From any imaginable direction.
They wanted to destroy traditional heroes and traditional values.
Yeah, but it's not just that. From anything that they have any amount of leverage on, they will use as an attack vector. Yeah. Anything. And bank accounts. Anything.
We're seeing it in pop culture, just again and again and again. He-Man.
They want to destroy our stories.
Yep, and so Lord of the Rings is going to be next. Just wait and see.
Mythology forms culture. Like in Australia, our mythology is mateship and camaraderie and having a good old lazy time and getting blasted and maybe once in a while smacking your wife. Depending where you live. Okay? Right? Over in New Zealand, you get frisky with sheep and you go on long walks to the Mount Doom. Like, everyone's got their own mythology. In America, it's guns. Hell yeah, I want some of that. But everyone's got their own culture.
Yes,
and it's true. Formed by the mythology of their...
I denounce the hitting wife thing.
Of course, right?
Yeah, I know it's a joke, but because people are stupid.
It's Bill Burr's like, you should never hit a woman. Well...
No, his point is like, what do you mean that there's no reason to hit a woman? Like, because it's saying... Basically, what if to never hit a woman? What if she's coming out with your knife? Is there never a reason to hit a woman? Like,
yeah. Anyway, but that's what they're doing. They're trying to, because communism can't have any external culture influencing it other than communism itself. This is all written about in 1984. That they needed to not only destroy the present amount of stories, but they need to get rid of everything in the past and everything that could be in the future.
And by the way, this isn't a mystery. Like, the people who are on this really ultra-progressive thing, they outwardly admit and promote that they are Marxists.
Yep.
We're not kidding. That's their ideology.
Yep.
They're the ones saying it. This isn't a conspiracy anymore. It's blatant.
Saw a real article title the other day from a health section thing. It says, the only way to destroy fat phobia is to tear down Western civilization.
It's blatant.
Yeah.
The mask has been off for a long time, and so anyone who's just thinking this is what's happening in society and culture right now.
Yeah.
You need to be aware of it. Otherwise, because that's how they try and actually convince people, is try and get them to drink the Kool-Aid without realizing what's going on.
No, the subtly
by trying to say you will be virtuous if you just take this one concession, agree with this little bit, and then this next little bit, concede to the point where you're fully indoctrinated.
Proud to hear you say all this, Chad. But
It's true.
I know it's true. Yeah, and there are some people who won't take it because each action has an equal and opposing reaction. Every force that rises will have something that rises up against it. And so, have you heard of there was a thing that came out a while back about like the cycle of life for empires and how they, when one comes over and starts coming down, another one rises up to crash into it and they have a conflict?
Sounds familiar.
Okay, so a lot of people think that's America and China. I don't think that's what it is.
What do you think?
I think it's literally the class of the global elite establishment versus everyone that doesn't want to be a part of that crap.
Possibly.
Because it's happening everywhere. Anyway, that's my just theory. Together we prevail. Ha ha ha. Yes, comrade.
Yeah.
Workers of the world unite.
The unity that they want. Yeah.
Heavy footsteps.
And his house. Like,
his house.
we don't. Did you ever imagine that a Halo series will have Master Chief connecting with his past and literally walking through his old home?
If I had known any of this was coming, I would have... That'll be
He's
done.
joking, okay? He's
Of
joking.
course. Never anything like that. Oh, man. Okay. Violence is the tool of the tyrant.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. Unless you really need to, like...
No. Defend yourself. Use violence to
Absolutely.
defend yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But don't initiate.
Defensive violence. The best defense is a good offense. All right. So for some reason they need to shill or make augmented reality.
Yeah, we get to see IKEA house.
Yeah, exactly. This is the pod you'll live in. Under here you have your drawer for bugs, yummy, delicious bugs. All right. Yeah, and there's a tree growing through it. It's biodegradable too. It's been 20 years and it's fallen apart completely. All right.
Sort of eco-friendly.
Yeah, 20 years of basically an undisturbed planet. There's a tiny ecosystem, but otherwise...
Well, I mean, humans are the stain on, the health of the planet. And
Yeah,
need to be eradicated. Well, if not eradicated, at least most of the population needs to be
Yeah.
wiped
We
out.
just only want 500 million people, and we're so committed to this that, 30 years ago, we're going to put up a bunch of stones in Georgia that say, keep the population under 500 million, and a bunch of other teachings.
It's crazy. Like, some of these, extremists that believe human population is an issue, one of them is, an insane abortionist that promotes it to extreme
I
levels.
tried to show you that video, Shad. You didn't want to watch it. Guess who she's connected with? Bill Gates' father. And there's some tasty quotes that come out of all three of them.
It's dark stuff that, these people that are against human population,
Yep.
they promote some really dark
The
stuff.
carbon they want to eliminate is you.
We're carbon-based life forms, people.
Bill Gates did a TED Talk where he's got okay, here's an algorithm for all the carbon you use. It's basically like a 1 plus times x, like it's a very simple one. They use letters, right? And the very last one is P for people.
One of the most important natural resources on Earth is people. The more
Yep.
people, the more we have to think about a given task. And they were actually saying in the 1800s that population was going to be an issue with the amount of food that they would produce, and that they were spelling doom and gloom then.
Yep.
But guess what happened? The Industrial Revolution, better farming techniques, everything like that. Human innovation will always move it at the same rate or ahead
Yep.
of so many issues in society. We've done it consistently again and again and again. We're already looking at going to other planets for
Yep.
crying out loud. We need more people.
Yep.
The more people we have, the sooner we'll get to those other planets, and the stronger and more secure we will be as a civilization.
Yep. Because
Have babies, people.
Have
married.
babies.
Get married and have babies. Lots of babies. I got 5, and damn, it's awesome.
can you say I'm doing my part?
I'm doing my part.
He's doing his part with his part.
Are you doing yours? Get married. Stop watching porn. Get married. Have a good, wholesome life.
Yeah.
Make babies, people.
Make plenty of babies.
Make babies, people. That's what we need, people. We need more babies. I don't know. That doesn't even seem like an Alex Jones talking point. It's ultra conservative talking point. But Elon Musk is pushing. It's he gets it. He actually was tweeting the other day that we need more people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So he's in his helmet.
We go places on this.
We go places. We go more places that are more compelling than this crappy TV show. Yeah. Too much damage through there. So I'm going to guess that's ultra important.
Yeah, I know. That'll probably come up later.
Yeah.
You know, his dad was doing some weird research or whatever.
Yeah, he's growing like meth or something. I don't know. He's a botanist on this planet alone. I'd make drugs too. John, we need to cook. All right. Perhaps if we go back to the drawings. Yes, go back to the drawings. The random squiggles and lines that mean
Useless,
nothing.
pointless drawings, and then he literally just starts to have hallucinations.
Yeah.
And it's weird. And it actually isn't the drawing. He has a hallucination of watching himself make a drawing, which then gives him the location where he needs to go. The physical drawings didn't even need to be there. The whole arc of the burying and the stupidity.
Dr. Halsey, just start showing him the Rorschach images. You got to get to the bottom of his diagnosis.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, running down the stairs is never safe. Don't do it. This is literally Globo word, living right there. That's exactly what they want you to do.
The pod.
Yep, and you better draw well. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Ran into the cave.
So, something I noticed about this, and this is why it's worth going through bit by bit, because it reminds me of observations I had when we originally watched. You're telling me that there is a sinkhole that leads to a cave with an alien artifact right near the settlement.
Within walking distance.
You can see the settlement not that far away with the sinkhole. No one surveyed the local area for potential sink. There's literally just a hole in the ground right near the settlement, and it's not like it's buried in amongst trees and everything. It's on open, barren ground, a hole right there that you would see miles away.
Seemingly.
No one has found this friggin' artifact It's right there in the open, basically. Well, the hole is.
Not just in the open, Shad. It is in the center of a mega structure they built. You think they didn't do any...
Exactly, you're right. It is in the center of that.
Plop it down there.
But the thing is, they had, like, mechanical crap all around. Like, are you telling me that the mechanical crap is actually old Forerunner tech that they never bothered to research?
This cave is a natural formation.
Do you see how dumb this show is?
If you can't, then, tell your carer that you're watching a channel that's not right for you to watch. Okay?
I can't believe how stupid this is. And the stupidity is right there. Right there for you to see. It's like, and they're not even aware of it. Like, the hidden artifact is right near the settlement. It's not, and no one found it.
Dude. The shills.
Oh,
the stuff the shills are saying, man. Alright. Damn. I thought Chief had a big nose.
Yeah.
That dude, he should be at the airport sniffing luggage.
All right, I'll give you that. I was trying to defend his nose. I was like, even that's too much for me.
I'm just imagining it's like, hey kid, I'm your last wish. It's like, make a wish, kid.
No.
All right.
Dogs. Oh, he saw the dog in his hallucination, and he was like, ooh.
Alright, and he manages to find the cave.
Which no one found.
Look at him, just stroking the ferry.
I know, and he literally starts to just pretend to touch something, and this is where they acknowledge that I'm not projecting this. This is all coming from him.
Dude.
This guy's mentally unstable.
I would be terrified if I was
like,
those two.
this is a crazy strong Spartan, right? And is having hallucinations. Yeah, I feel very secure. I'm sort of like, when you look at me, you don't see a covenant. You just want to make sure. But it could happen, because these hallucinations could appear any time.
Oh, man. Cortana, he's probably saying to Cortana, you're locked in here with me.
It was like, no, I don't see the covenant. I just see dogs.
Oh, I see people in fursuits.
Furries.
Oh, man. Yeah, stroke the furry wall. He's like, whoa, dude.
My hands.
Just like,
they're huge.
Just like the Covenant lady. They're both smoking the same stuff.
Gosh. You reckon he's going to hook up with her, the Covenant girl?
I think they might be brother and sister. And then they might. Like Game of Thrones.
Maybe.
Alright, yeah. Creepy.
Yeah, don't tell your parents. Scene.
Don't tell your parents that we've been hanging out.
Our little secret.
Yeah. Can I see you again? Sure. Oh.
Gosh. Isn't it, like... This is kind of like convergent evolution, right? Where people with the same values just naturally express the same kind of sentiments and belief structure where they think it's perfectly fine, or they're like, justified to have a conversation with kids.
There's definitely an underlying pattern.
Yeah, like
underlying pattern there. Yeah.
And it just appears in this progressive show.
Yeah, big mouth. What's happening with Disney right now? There weren't enough signs. The slippery slope fallacy is truly a fallacy. So is the fallacy. Alright, yeah, the coin. Now, there's two ways to interpret that. In some old lore, it was that he could literally see it as it span, and that's how he could predict it. But in this, they're saying it's luck because he's lucky.
Can I just, I don't know how... I think most of our audience is pretty switched on about what's going on in culture and society, But I think there might be one or two people that are just finding out about this because they liked Halo, they weren't watching too much in politics and things. I think there's going to be a occasional person like that who appears here. And if you have, the notion of trying to brainwash kids into certain beliefs, that's again a blatant thing. If you just look up, is it the National Gay Choir?
Yes.
The song where they said, we're coming for your children. They literally have a song where they're singing, we're going to come for your children and turn them into us. Like, they are blatant about this. The mask has been off for a long time, and it's just more signs that we're seeing other things.
Yes, but Shad, what you got to understand is...
And Disney supports it, by the way.
Yeah, but you got to understand, that's homophobic, and it's a fallacy to say that it's a slippery slope. And you're a homophobe.
Which, no, of course not. But again, they just want to vilify and shame people into adherence and belief.
Yeah.
It's the same... That's what they did in, like, the communist things, like public shaming and everything. You know what they do in North Korea?
Struggle sessions.
Yeah, where they have people stand up and confess what they have done wrong, and also to inform on other people and things.
Communism, as well as most all Marxism is the Church of Satan. It literally is. You will have no agency. You will own nothing, not even your own soul, not even the blood or bones in your body.
So, just if you want to know where this Christian theology kind of comes in, there is a thing that arises in the prophecies of the last days called the Great and Abominable Church, or also known as the Whore of all the Earth.
Yep.
We are seeing more and more signs of Christian prophecy coming true these days. I'm not kidding! Like...
And if you complain that we're talking about Christian stuff, this is a show called Halo, so you're in the wrong place.
No. You're more than welcome here. You can disagree with us, but we're Christians. We're going to talk about these things. Yep. And look, I love engaging conversations with people who disagree with me and everything. Welcome aboard. But of course, we're going to be bringing it up. But yeah, like it's actually kind of scary how much certain prophecies go. Because as Latter-day Saints, we have more expanded scripture, and there's a scripture in the Doctrine and Covenants that literally says that during the time of the Gentiles, and by the way, Western nations are the Gentile nations, during the time of the Gentiles, which is their golden era, we're on the end, the last sign of that there will be a pestilence that will cover the land.
I don't think it's the one we just had.
I think it is.
Really? It didn't kill many people.
No, but it screwed up society, and that's what this wasn't one. It wasn't said that it would kill heaps of people, but anyway.
Okay,
very
fine,
interesting.
fair enough. Well, I hear great pestilence, and I just assume.
No, I think there's another one coming later.
Oh yeah.
There's one in Revelations that talks about they will they'll be afflicted for a certain period of time, and they'll wish they had died.
Yeah. I'll quote who's very informed on the subject. Bill Gates. He said, "We're calling this pandemic one, the one we just had, and no one really paid attention to that, but they'll pay attention to pandemic too."
Did he say that?
He literally said that with that exact mannerism, with his wife next to him, and his wife's like, yeah. So
anyway,
get some cans of soup and bury.
In times, I want to be a prepper.
I like the Book of Mormon. Like, oh, it gets worse. Okay. Oh, it gets worse. Oh, Judgment Day. Finally.
Yes.
Well, I guess that comes after the learning, doesn't it?
So this is the scene where they discover that the Spartans know the alien language and no one bothered to check.
Yeah.
It is, like, laughably dumb. Words can't express how incredibly dumb this is.
Yeah. Also, they changed the colour of the elites.
And the fact that they're aware of it and acknowledge it in the episode and just try and move on is...
Yeah. And they changed the colour of the elites.
I don't care about that.
I care about it.
Yeah, I don't.
They have alligator-like skin that's either dark grey or
I can
jet
understand
black.
why you care about it, but because I don't know enough, it's like...
Well, you see, I see people with, high-functioning schizophrenia often see patterns in everything and meaning in everything.
Now it's suddenly appearing white. Is that the pattern you're seeing?
Well, I mean, they've done it with every other villain and weak person of character and flawed person. Look at.
I will acknowledge there's certainly a pattern that does seem to appear.
Yeah. But when I notice patterns, it's a conspiracy.
It is.
Yeah, I'm just crazy.
Oz is just nuts crazy.
Absolutely
You shouldn't
nuts.
believe anything he says.
Also...
most of it is just the delivery.
I know
That's
that everyone
Alex
says that.
Jones's problem.
Yeah, but he's right.
Like, he's been right so many times, and you can see compilations of all the things. He predicted the friggin' Ukrainian war, right?
Yeah.
But it's the way he delivers it. He sounds like a crazy person.
I don't sound like a crazy person, though. I can
Not as bad
explain
as
it.
him.
I can explain it very clearly.
But, like,
it's just no one wants
the
to
thing-
listen.
the
I
thing-
say something, right? And you're like, come on, Oz. I'm like,
It's
no,
the-
guys, let me explain it. Blah, 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 blah. I
It's
have
the
to go
way
like
you
that.
say. Look, see the way you're saying it. It's the way you say it.
You're telling me that I come off as crazy and erratic?
Yes.
You of all people?
Yep, absolutely.
Oh! That's the...
Just listen to how you sound right now. Are you telling me I sound crazy and erratic?
You get this way about nunchucks. I get
know.
this way about rich people trying to cull the population.
But when I'm actually speaking about salient fact, I present it in an important, rational...
No one would listen to me if I tried to be rational. If I tried to be rational, people would be like,
You know, the thing that actually showed me that Alex Jones has such a problem with his framing is when he was on Joe Rogan and he talked about the government is colluding with interdimensional elves, and it sounds utterly crazy, and then Joe Rogan interprets like, you're actually talking about when they experimented with DMT and the joint hallucinations that people had. And so when people are on DMT, they have joint hallucinations where they see what looks to be elves from another dimension.
Yeah.
It's actually a
They're called the
recorded
machine
thing,
elves.
the machine elves.
Yeah,
And the
shared
government
delusion.
literally did research to try and figure out what was going on there. And it's his framing, so Alex Jones sees that and he says, the government's colluding with space elves, people!
Well, no, but like okay, so you got that far with they did tests, right? What you didn't get to is the fact that they did tests and they're communicating with the things and they've written down we're talking with these things. These things
While
are
on
talking with us.
DMT, yeah.
Shared, they're shared hallucinations. Anyway, just get over that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, extra-dimensional reality is perfectly in line with my religious belief.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely.
I don't really rule anything out apart from communism doesn't work, and that one day we're getting judged. Anyway, so
But you have a framing problem. Is that the delivery is almost as important as the words at times. And I've learned this the hard because sometimes I get the delivery wrong. You know, an example where I got the delivery wrong, but my point was right.
Elden Ring.
It was my Elden Ring videos, yeah.
Yeah, but even then, I see that as a them problem, just like I see my framing being...
It should be. It really should be. What should be more important is the truth that you're saying, but unfortunately people are... They're not just pure rational beings.
Yes.
Yeah, they're emotional beings as well.
Like they taught us this at the end of this episode. A very excellent point. Anyway, so they've got the Needler, and they're like, this is what the Needler does. Why don't you show us?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Do you have any idea how satisfying that gun is?
That would be really cool to see.
Yeah.
But it's just boring monologue. Action explosion. Like, they waste budget on so much other crap.
Yeah.
And we have an opportunity to show something cool from the games. Nah.
Exposition on how a gun works.
It shows that their priority. They are getting off on their own writing, and so they think their writing is so good. Okay, and it's not. It's horrible. But because they think it's so good, they literally taking out opportunities for other things to be seen, so they can inject their own exposition because they just are pleasuring themselves whenever they get to see their own dialogue in. And they're like, oh, we're so great.
We're not using the pen, sure. But, like, the fact that they just
this is a great example of that, where they could have shown something, but no, they want to get off on their writing instead. And it's just crap,
that's the thing.
boring.
Are they getting off on it, though? How could you get off on it? It's just like, I've explained what a weapon does.
I'm being hyperbolic, but they think their writing is so great that they want their writing to be front and center, and they're like literally exchanging it for awesome things that they could have shown.
So they read the wiki page for the Needler, and then they used that as a vehicle to transfer onto the idea of language.
Yeah, like they call it like the name of the
Aklabungaba.
Yeah, right.
Anything.
And they're like, what? You know the name of it?
Yeah,
it's like this information no one...
It's a random jumble of consonants and, apostrophes. It means literally nothing. And if an enemy says that to you, one, how are you going to keep track of it that they keep saying the same word? Because it sounds like nonsense to you. Literal gibberish from an alien that's pissing its pants, right?
Like, in reality, they would have teams, like entire sections of scientists breaking down every single frame of every single recorded conflict with these aliens to understand everything. They would look at every single pixel for any hint of the technology, and they would break down every single note of the language that was said to ad nauseum, to insane autistic levels of detail, right? Because this is life and death. This is what they would naturally do. And here, no, we haven't even bothered to...
And here's
only the Spartans listened to the aliens.
And they've had smart AI for the past 400 years. They'd have time to figure it out, you know? Like, oh, man.
It hurts, Oz.
Yeah, it is very painful. It is. Extremely painful. Yeah, Super Combine and bam. They have no right to say that. What is it again? That's what they say. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You point a gun at someone and they say the name of the gun.
I know, that's so dumb. Like the most likely thing is that would be oh crap or screw you or something. But the fact that they automatically think and then confirm that they're saying the name of the gun.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny? If I pulled out like a 1911, pointed at someone, and they're like, no, please don't shoot, and I shot them, I'm like, that's weird. This isn't called a please don't shoot, it's called a 1911.
But imagine people actually did that. AK-47!
The only person that might do that is like someone who works at airport security or something. Like, they name the gun, so, oh man. Get down, Mr. President, Bretta! Oh man. Like, no, they actually do that though. If there's a threat, they say, gun!
AR-15! AR-15!
Yeah, oh man.
But
someone should have yelled that with Rittenhouse.
But in a battlefield, I could imagine, like, in some bad situation where someone says gun. But in a battlefield, it's like the enemy where they pick up one of our own guns.
they'll only say it for really important parts, and even then, we only see it in movies. It's like, RPG or Sniper, get down! Yeah. You know, you don't hear, that guy has a M4A1 with a little scope and a blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, like, it's literally them like saying AK-47.
Yeah, but just let's get over the fact that when you take the gun away from them and point at them, they apparently say the name of the gun.
But some guns, I think, might be justified. Like if someone picks up a bazooka, you would need to announce to everyone else,
RPG.
Bazooka, get down!
Well,
like, that's
you'd
like,
say RPG, rocket
Yeah,
propelled
yeah,
grenade. Okay,
RPG.
I'm just like, you're the sword guy. My friends are the gun guys. So look, you know.
Yeah, Mister. No, all guns don't have safeties. Sure.
Okay, to be fair, I heard it on a TV show, and I'm known as the film and television guy.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. Like Oz is so reliable
For film and television, I am.
on guns.
Yeah. And here's the crazy thing: the lady that said that in the TV show Utopia, go and watch it, the British original one, is the wife of Soren in this show.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
completely different.
But you believed gun information from a show?
The show was accurate about a lot of things that have happened recently. Very accurate. Scarily accurate.
You should never trust anything Hollywood says about guns. Guns in particular.
Well, that's
don't
not
know.
entirely true.
Most people out of that side of things have very poor understanding of guns. Where
can
they're like
trust Brady.
saying, you know, we need a ban fully automatic guns. It's like they're already banned.
Yeah, no, just ban Alec Baldwin from having them. But you know who you can trust when it comes to guns? The people making Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Anyway, that Phantom we flew back from Madrigal, that was unreal.
Oh, yeah, we'll keep skipping forward.
You're telling me that you don't know your enemy's language, yet you can fly their vehicles? Yeah, that's great. Alright, yep.
Yeah, and so they're dismantling his ship, and
he's just okay with it.
He's like, he was ready to go in and wipe him out. She's like, no, don't do that.
No, it's Jawas. Don't kill the Jawas.
You should have just gone in and wiped him out. And then, of course, she's absolutely wrong, because it turns out that they didn't steal the ship, they scrapped it, and it's now stranded.
There are two words that expression conveys. What is it? You already know what it is.
I know exactly what it is.
What's he thinking about?
It starts with a B, and then the next word is a P.
Bitch, please. Look at that. Bitch, please.
That is that phrase, expression incarnate. Like, that is like, someone put a like text under that, and that is like the perfect expression of that.
Oh, yeah.
Just go back, right? What are they trying to make her look like? I'm sure she could actually look really pretty. Like, just, you know, give her a nice hair.
Yeah,
but they have gone out of their way to make her look as ugly as possible.
She even looks like she's still strapped
It's like
to bloody...
they are so against natural feminine beauty that they are trying to subvert it at so many, you know, angles.
Yeah, but look at the car seat she's still strapped into. She looks like she's just got back from preschool and she's sitting there. Oh, man. Right. What kind of pirate... This guy's a pirate in Halo. Oh, man. They've already got a pirate... The Jackals in the Covenant. They're pirates. They're bird people. And, yeah, here we go. The glistening cheeks.
Oh, it's so pointless.
This guy's like Mr. Burns and Mr. Smithers rolled into one. Both evil and gay.
I like him as an actor enough. Like, he does the roles. He's a bit one-tone. Grant is always playing the villain. But he was good in Expanse. He did that role well. He appears in Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, Dark Knight Rises, yeah.
My first introduction to an actor was not in a good show. It was in Torchwood.
Yeah. He was in 2 episodes of Breaking Bad. Not Breaking Bad. He was in 2 episodes of Game of Thrones. And he was an incredible...
Yeah, in Game of Thrones.
It was awesome. Carl Tanner of Gin Alley. He was awesome. Anyway, yeah. So for some reason, this middle-aged woman is a deadly assassin.
Of course she is.
But when she literally says it in this scene, I had to have my brother watch the kids. Yes. Single mother, full-time assassin. She's the deadly opposite to Erin Brockovich.
And it's funny, his reply has actually got merit. It's like, I pay you enough, you could just get daycare.
Don't mansplain to me.
Okay, let's pause here. They legitimately have devoted, like, precious, what should be, like, time that you allocate, you know, with consideration to the important parts in the plot.
Yeah.
And they thought it was important enough to have a line about her children needing to be taken care of. So why would they do that? Why would they feel it's so important that they need to make sure the audience knows that this is a single mum?
More importantly, what are the implications of a single mother who kills people for a living?
Yeah, gosh.
And he's like, Don't.
I would be looking at that prenup agreement, perhaps, or something like that.
Well, yeah, you know she got something in the divorce, man.
There wasn't a divorce if she's an assassin.
Oh no.
Look at the did he have a life insurance policy? I'm sure he did.
Yeah. This must be done quietly and discreetly, yeah, because this show's all about discreetness. That's even a word. All right, yeah, back in the bazaar, they've just cleared out some of the extras.
Yeah, he gets a gun here.
Yeah.
And sorry, go back, right? At first we thought, all right, they just put out a hit on her head, and so we're thinking these are probably just guys trying to take her out.
Yeah.
But no, we find out these are actual guards, bodyguards,
For her
aunt. And her aunt recognizes her instantly, which kind of sets up that the bodyguards would have recognized her, but they decided to attack them.
That's what I'm saying, man.
This show is dumb. It is so stupid.
All the white men in this show are either weak, idiots, or schizophrenic, right? These guys attacked their aunt's niece.
Yeah. The supposed heir to her father.
Yeah. And then she just comes
we find out the fortune dead bone dry now, because in the following scene she gets told that, the dad spent all the resources on the revolution, so she's going to screw over,
but
discount Dave Chappelle.
Are these guys literally retarded? Like no guys, this is my niece. Oh, okay, sorry.
They would recognise her. Her wanted poster has been spread around everywhere, right? And they would instantly know that, niece, that's the daughter.
Kwan Ha. How many Ha's are there on this planet?
Just there's so much dumb. Even there's small dumb and there's astronomical dumb on all levels. This show is dumb.
Has there anything been done that is anywhere remotely over the threshold of not dumb? A single thing over the threshold of not dumb.
I would need to rewatch it. It's hard to even notice good things because it's so just swamped in stupidity. There we
go.
Cheeks.
There's the cheeks.
There's right. Well, we might have to cut it because YouTube, but it might be small enough to.
All right, and she's just giving him the same look that Cortana gave Master Cheeks. Is that water not heated?
You pathetic man.
Yeah, I kill people for a living, and you come to me and look at how I stand above you and look down at you with contempt. Yeah, great. Yeah, there's the two guard retards. They literally look like they've had some sort of head trauma. Look at him. Dead stare. Bloody extras. Alright, so yeah, this, we have this massive recorded databank of Covenant words. We've just never had someone to actually... We never thought to actually study them. We just recorded them.
Never thought to ask the Spartans what context in which these words are being said. We don't even have recordings to tell us the context in which these words are being said.
You see, what I was doing is in my off time, I was mixing this into a really cool Covenant soundtrack. Yeah. It's called Covenant Dance Party. Listen to it. It's on my Spotify. That's actually a great song.
So I was trying to think of what to name this review, and first I was like, amazingly it gets worse. But now I'm thinking something like, just dumb. Words cannot express the dumb.
Yeah, dumb beyond expression.
Dumb beyond expression. That's a good title.
Well, do you respect me? Because no.
Maybe I think how could it? I didn't believe it could get worse, but it does.
Somehow gets worse. Yeah.
This is the puppy talk. We had to kill our dogs.
Yeah, and they say they had to,
and they've been wasting so much money. If you wanted to try and at least make this boring, pointless kind of exposition somewhat more flashbacks, I don't know, show us it maybe.
There's off time in battles, right? There's times when they get set up in a position where they walk around. Just do that.
Yeah, but even just having a nod like the example I showed before, if Cheeks actually killed Kwan right then, it's would have been far more interesting.
Yeah, and we wouldn't have this crappy subplot. But we needed the Asian lady to be the thingo. Alright, she never lost, but still lost the pig. Yeah, look, it's just the same expression every time. And even she looks like a dude. Look at her.
Yeah, they're trying out. She could be really beautiful if they
probably
put some. I really noticed this in the Spider-Man Marvel things with the actress who plays MJ, right? She also plays a role in The Greatest Showman, and in The Greatest Showman, she looks stunning, absolutely stunning. But in all the Marvel ones, it's they went out of her way to make her look as just as possible.
Almost like there's an agenda.
Yeah, they really don't and I know there are examples where sometimes they purposely have the dress, but more often than not, especially in shows like this, it's like they're going out of their way to make many actresses look as unappealing as possible because how dare you even you must appreciate all the types of looks and appearances, and if you're not, you're a bigot.
Last year, there's a game called Halo Reach, right? It was the last Bungie game they did. You can customize your Spartan quite heavily there. You can choose whether you're male or female.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how in Elden Ring they did Type A and Type B bodies, right? But guess what they did for this?
What?
They changed it to, and the proportions do change from male to female. Obviously, male and female, right? They changed it from heavy armor to light armor. No, not even body types. There's a clear change in body types. Hips get wider, waist get thinner, shoulders get smaller, head get, chest more pronounced.
Well, gender's a construct, or
it's all fake.
It's a spectrum.
Yeah.
So.
You see, I was born just naturally thinking, you know what? I think I'll be a dude for this playthrough. Yeah, totally. Idiots. Anyway, here's another idiot, Master Chief. Literally looks like he's trying to figure out what 8 plus 8 is. Could it be that number? No. Oh, man. And we need to get you home where you're safe. I'll put on some chicken nuggets.
He is having delusions.
He's literally stroking the fairy wall, and it's not there. Have you heard that term before?
No.
It means when you're tripping out bad, you need to stroke the fairy wall to calm down.
Okay.
But the wall wasn't there. Oh, man. Okay. You were so young when we met, and so overwhelmed with grief. Yeah, because you raped him. You raped him. You touched him in his sacred ring.
She wants to.
Yeah.
I need to find his sacred ring.
Yeah. And she's like, no, you're imagining these things. None of it happened.
She's considered, well, maybe.
She knows Cortana. She knows it hasn't changed since he was a kid. Stayed the same size. All right, you look at this hideous helmet.
Yeah, and you're right. Like the only reason they even bring up the helmet is so they can hide the stunt double on their motorbike later on.
You know what could fix that?
There's a whole several lines dedicated to this is a good helmet, but it's not. But he actually
You know who else wears helmets that look really cool? Spartans! And guess what he happens to be? He happens to be a Spartan! How about you give him a Spartan helmet? You have 1,000 of them to choose from. But no, you give him a turban on top of a motorcycle helmet.
This show, man.
This is horrifically awful. If you like this show, how many extra chromosomes do you have that I don't? Can I get some to spare? Just so I can find some enjoyment out of this?
No. You don't want to enjoy this.
The only enjoyment I get out of this is I'm unloading so much bottled up hatred and anger. It's all coming out, so it's cathartic in that sense.
Yeah.
But it's also the thing creating the anger.
If you enjoy this type of show, people can enjoy it. I don't know why you're enjoying it. Sorry, actually, you're free to enjoy it. Sorry, I apologize. But if you think this show is good, that's when I question your judgment in a big way.
You know how you said people have kids? If you enjoy this show, that one doesn't really apply to you.
If you think the show's good.
Yeah, no, if you enjoy it. If you enjoy it for any other reason other than this show sucks, I'm going to laugh at it. I'm going to laugh at the destruction of this show.
Don't contribute to the destruction of society. You're smarter than that. We believe in you.
Don't be a retard, stupid. Oh, man. And look, I'm not offending anyone, right? I'm not offending anyone.
But also, in Oz's defense, he has that written on his mirror, okay?
No, but here's the thing, right? I'm not offending anyone unless they're actually retarded. Or unless they're actually stupid. Unless someone has said to you over and over again in your life, you're stupid, and you know that they're telling the truth.
The point about it is that you would never call an actual retard a retard, which is the point.
Not to his face.
That's why, it's a term that you call people who should not be acting retarded, because by all
accounts, they're not retarded.
They shouldn't be retarded.
Well, no, but by their actions.
Yeah.
This show, they are retarded. Anyway. Yeah, so he's complaining that his ship got stolen. He's complaining that his ship got stolen. And also, it's dressed up in the commie where it's like, they stole my ship. And like, those buggers. No, they're thieves. They stole from you and destroyed your ship.
And you could have stopped it.
Take the gun to them. But no, it's like, oh, no, it was under $1,000. It's a misdemeanor.
Yeah, and then I'm just going to steal your bike.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have anything to do with my ship being stolen, but
in fact, I was offering to help you.
Yeah.
Not only did I go and check on it for you, I came back and I'm like, hey, I'll give you a ride.
You should just give me their location. I'm gonna go mess some caps up and
Yeah.
then bust some caps. That's the gangster term. Sorry,
Shad.
I need to be the right gangster language. He should have just got the address and took it out on the people that messed up his ship. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe stop them in the act. Like, what were
Yeah,
you doing in between then? In between then, he was actually going to speak to that guy. He's like, I'm going to go find out if they have the money for my ship. How do you go stop them from stealing from your ship?
You were right there, but
Get a gun.
it's Kwan's fault. Next time he sees her, he should fulfill that expression he was looking at her before. 'Cause
Yeah.
He just lost him his ship.
Give the old pistol whip. Don't pistol whip women, okay? Only criminals. Yeah, guts ripped out, wings are on, etc. Okay, how could that possibly be useful?
And so, needs to get off the planet, blah, blah, blah. Oh, look at this helmet.
Look at this useless, disgusting helmet.
Yeah. But he's going to actually say, it's a nice one. And I'm taking it.
It's nice, yeah. What did he say? It's a nice top or a nice lid or
yeah,
something?
something.
Dude, they have very colourful, very colourful euphemisms that it's hard for us to understand, especially when they talk quickly and make it rhyme.
Mm-hmm.
I have trouble with that. I need someone who speaks jive to come along and. Okay, that one's a fine joke because it was in Flying High. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh man.
Oh, wait. Oh, parts of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Continuing.
Yeah. So.
And her aunt, yeah, blah, 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 run out of money, so she can't pay the Spartan guy. She's so
Dude,
tired.
this right here, like the hair thing, is ripped straight out of the life experience of a millennial college student. Mother, I want money. No, your father spend all the money. You don't have none.
Why, the college student, then why are you giving it an Asian stereotypical racist accent, Oz?
Do you want to race change them too?
Yes!
I'm not a progressive.
Gosh.
I'm not going to do that.
So... I denounce,
Well, to be fair-
I denounce everything Oz says. He's a terrible person.
Which group of people is the most likely and probably hardest working to be in college? So much so, they literally have to change their numbers to keep them out. Who is it? Which group of people, Shad? Only they work hard enough.
Oh, yeah, no, Asians are at the top of certain economic things. They're doing, like, they're the highest income earners.
They're very, very smart. Very respectable people.
They're not smart because they're Asian, though. They're just good, hard-working people.
There's definitely a cultural
There's a
thing there.
cultural thing, but not a genetic necessarily thing.
Maybe. I don't think we should study that sort of science, but there's definitely a cultural aspect.
Definitely cultural.
Yeah.
aspect, yeah.
Again, like, I don't like eugenics. Any measurement of like using someone's genes or DNA to try and judge the person, I don't like that as a science. That is bad, unethical science. Anyway, but cultural things are measurable.
Oh no, there's definitely a cultural practice in many Asian communities for education and dedication and hard work and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's almost like upbringing and cultural influences have a greater impact on economic and prosperity in the long run.
So join us on the Daily Wire as we discuss. All right. No, I will not allow it. All right. Yeah, and they just go back and forth in this room
Yeah,
until one of them dies.
basically, like, we don't care. The scene is
Yeah.
like,
What did they tell him? We don't know, but it had
oh
something
yeah,
to do
yeah.
with
The
the
dad
future.
tripped out from the desert people.
Dude, he went and took DMT in the
That's
desert.
it's like they need something to try and make it more interesting and fail, but they need something. Desert people and dad quest and thing. They're reaching. They're desperate and they're reaching, trying to make this distraction plot line relevant, and it's not.
It's not. It's just not. Yeah, and then this lady, while this is happening, I thought this was a flashback.
That's a flashback to the dad killing.
No, it's
people.
not. This
Oh.
is the lady sneaking in to kill them.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
then their timing and pacing
Yeah.
is all off
Because
completely.
they used cuts before to do flashbacks, like when they say sacred ring.
Yeah,
Cuts.
and it's interspersed with her dialogue of the dad seeking the desert people.
Yeah.
I thought this is the dad having to kill people to find the desert people or something.
According to the desert people, who are dead in this shot. But no, it's happening live. Where can I find these mystics? I don't know. They're just out beyond Mos Eisley. they're out beyond... What was the city from Dune?
I don't know, yeah, but it's very Dune vibes.
Where's your friend? Why do you care about the friend? His head isn't on the list.
I know, I thought...
Just kill her.
And freebie right here, why are you hesitating to ask questions? You can just kill her straight away. That's the mark.
You have to be home for dinner to pick up the kids, don't you remember? You're a single mother. Every minute counts. Oh, yeah. The fact that she's a middle-aged woman taking on this sort of role. Like, come on. I can suspend my disbelief for space aliens and mega rings.
There are, it's unlikely, but it's not outside
no,
all
shut.
realms of possibility. But you would think if you want a badass assassin, you would make him a badass assassin, not a...
Yeah, not a middle-aged single mum.
And look, I'm saying this as someone who literally has a middle-aged woman as a primary protagonist in my novel, as a combative magical knight, right? But it's justified in the story.
Yeah. Not... Yeah, anyway, oh man. Yeah, so this show is just awful. That she gets shot in the shoulder and she's fine apparently. And then he's wearing the ridiculous...
It's like a bucket on his head.
Why not?
They found a bucket, cut out a hole, wrapped it up in cloth, and put it on his head. And that's what they chose instead of a Spartan helmet.
Yeah. Dude, there are so many cool Spartan helmets. Every possible helmet you can imagine they have.
This show, man. This bloody show.
And then there's the newest Tesla model showing up, still around.
Space car arrives with space supremacists.
Yes. Oh, spatial supremacists.
They're,
we want to keep everyone out of our
space. What do we call
space.
them? They're space...
Gestapo.
I don't know, something like that. And this chase scene was just... who cares? There was nothing interesting happening.
Nothing, no cool action. It was
just... Maybe they don't have any action scenes because they just don't know how to do them. Like,
yeah, they don't have any talent working on this show. At all. You know who the talent is? The only talent is the people making the props. That's it. Everyone else
probably,
sucks.
yeah. The visual effects are very hit and miss, but the good ones, okay.
If they're hit and miss, I say they're bad.
Yeah.
I think if something isn't done consistent, yeah.
Mm.
Alright, yeah, so this just looks like Blade Runner 2049, and then we cut back to this. For some reason, oh, look at this. His brain scans show some bloody gobbledygook.
Yeah, it's pseudoscience bullcrap to explain that we can't read his memories.
Yeah, they never could.
Because they literally say that, like, he could be remembering things we don't know. And,
yeah,
and
that was always the case! Why do you think you had to draw stuff? Why do you think you had to come here to find stuff? It's because you can't see his memories. Cortana can't either.
But look, hey, that's a warthog, isn't it?
Oh, I remember that. I remember that. At this point, I'm kind of wishing I could forget. Oh man, yeah, just look. Oh wow, I've just found out this massive thing. Who cares? And he looks like he's about to murder both of them. Finally, some expression where it looks like he's going to do some killing. What's hidden? Yeah. She looks like she's just understood that this is a murderous intent. Don't need to be a doctor to figure that out. Yeah, he's got the helmet back on, just for driving, eh?
Doesn't deserve it.
Just to protect him from the harsh winds.
Oh, and this is we're sisters now.
We're sisters.
Out of all these scenes where they hated each other, and then they just work on things, and now we're sisters. Oh, it's so cringe. So yeah, just skip through it. Like, I don't want to remember it. It's bad. It's just...
No, the syllables changes it. Yes. Changing syllables in a word changes the meaning of the word. You haven't been completely honest with me. Yeah, we just met. Look at that. That's a Spartan. That's a deadly warrior, Shad. Do you know that? That's a deadly warrior.
And look, I don't mind for the big warriors to be depicted as butch and everything like that. I think Brienne of Tarth did fine and stuff. It's like, yeah, all right, that's...
It was believable when she did
believable. Same with like Gina Carano, even though she fully emasculates Mandalorian, just beating him down into the dirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can have warrior women, that's fine. But the thing that's attached to it, though, is that this does seem to be a pushback against the attractive warrior woman. You can't have that. They have to be all butch now.
Yeah. And a small act of rebellion. Maybe, against Halsey. What a great act of rebellion. This person who literally stole your life from you since childhood.
Go into the mess and scream.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Dude, I went to her office and I shuffled some papers around. I moved her tablet to the left by 3 inches. Act of rebellion. You know what? She's going to look at your hair and think, that looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Shave it.
You're an idiot.
Oh, man. Okay. Sacred Ring. Halo. This word is Sangheili. How do they even know the word Sangheili? How do they even know that? Because that's a Covenant word. They've been calling them elites. They call the elites.
Well, this is important, right? Because this is not a word that translates to anything. It's a name of something.
Yeah.
And so it would be very hard to try and figure out the context of what they're calling.
Yeah, but also, like, they don't understand the Covenant language, right? Mm-hmm. The word Sangheili is the Covenant's name for that particular race. Yeah. Like, humans call them elites because they're big and they direct the little ones around, the little ones are called grunts because they're the little fellas. So, and the ones that fly around that look like insects are called buggers. The ones that do electricity and engineer stuff are called engineers. Like, it's very simple. But, and the big ones that look like apes and bears, they're called brutes because they're angry and look like Chewbacca.
Makes sense.
But in reality, they're called Jarrelhane, like Elite Singhili. Seriously, how do they know that? It doesn't follow. Oh, man.
And then
Sacred
Halo. She just decides to call it a Halo.
I know that you report directly to Halsey, but yeah, who gives a crap? It's our secret. Why would she tell him? She literally resents her mother, who works in an opposing team to her. Yeah, compartmentalization pisses off the military for some reason, even though it's necessary.
And then they go to the open hole. So let's keep forward. I want to see where that hole in the ground is, because it's forward. Oh, but yeah, that's right.
It's the montage. It's the montage with the monologue.
Where they did not earn anything.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, she sees humans as fickle, strange beasts. Yes, she is on the spectrum.
So bad.
This is just horrifically bad. Yeah, they jump into the hole.
And look, it's just like not that far away.
The rest of us ultimately fall short.
And actually, go back. That looks like it's in a quarry of some kind. Like there's been excavation work here.
Yeah.
And so they found a hole and no one bothered.
No, this is the filming location, man. Like, you literally see they cut this out. Yeah, let people down. Basically, she's the best and everyone else sucks. And everyone else is stupid and they can't have as much judgment as her. And this looks nothing like Forerunner stuff. Forerunner stuff doesn't look like that. They use 45-degree, 20-degree angles and it's all metallic.
And that's Halo episode...
That's Halo episode...
4. Sorry, Hate Fic. Halo Fate... Hate
No,
Fic.
you know what? This isn't Halo. This is Horns.
Horns.
Because everyone's naked and it's evil. It's made by communists. I don't know what this is. It's just crap.
It is.
It's pure crap.
Utter crap. This show is just... There we go, though. That's been our review and discussion on it. And, well... we have episode 5 to look forward to. I'm amazed that they've this is going to be an 8-episode show?
9.
And so little has been achieved.
Yep, 9 episodes and nothing has happened. Not a single thing.
Of true significance.
No, okay, I'm being serious. Nothing related to Halo has happened in this.
Yep.
Some shooting happened at the start, but it was so divorced from Halo still. Anyway... If I ever do die, and you've heard this joke before, frame it so it looks like a suicide from this. Put a Halo 4 poster up behind me when I'm hanging from the rafters. Anyway, thanks for watching. I don't know how you put up with it. We're barely getting by with our sanity intact.
But it just goes to show you that you must always stay on watch.
You did it wrong again.
I did it wrong again.
I understand, though. The show's affecting your mental health. And remember, stay watchful.